Yo, what up, y'all? It's your boy Rob coming back at you once again with another live stream. So before we get started, you already know what to do. If you're not subscribed to the channel, make sure you hit the bell icon twice. Smash the like button, share this video out to all of your followers, and let's get it cracking. All right, so shout out to everybody who's in the building. It's good to see each and every one of you. I hope you guys are having a wonderful day. If you guys can hear me okay and everything looks good on the screen, please give me a thumbs up or a radiation emoji in the chat. If things are looking not so hot, or if you're having a difficult time hearing me, please give me a thumbs down or an angry face. While you guys are doing that, I'm going to shout out everyone who is in the building early. All right. Shout out to my man, AB Promotions. What's good with it, bro? Shout out to Lehman Lucas. Good to see you. Shout out to DC Precise. Good to see you, bro. Shout out to No Longer Asleep. And shout out to Real Women Don't Do Nonsense. All right. So we're going to talk about a couple things. Shout out to Willie Tresses. Willie Tresses. Shout out to you. Good to see you. So we're going to talk about a couple things in this stream. The main things that we're going to discuss in this stream are Tim WALZ. his position on immigration, Trump and Vance and their new push to attempt to coax the media into engaging with Kamala Harris instead of kind of sidestepping and ignoring her. And we're going to take a look at the kind of failed attempt that Kamala Harris had to try to deal with quote unquote hecklers at a Michigan rally. All right. How many people heard about the situation between Kamala Harris and the hecklers at the Michigan rally? If you guys heard about that, give me a thumbs up. If you guys did not hear about that, then give me a thumbs down. It's real interesting because the approach that Kamala Harris took is an approach that you kind of see a lot. You know what I'm saying? And it didn't really go so well. And the media is not really saying too much about it, but what they are saying about it is not very good. All right. Shout out to Karen. What's good with it, Karen? Shout out to Sunkissed. Shout out to Soas Muscle Pain, and shout out to Alexandria. Good to see you all. All right. So the first thing we're going to talk about is some issue that your boy Trump allegedly had. He reportedly confused the former San Francisco mayor, Willie Brown, with Jerry Brown. So we're going to check this out.
Debate. ABC has now confirmed the two candidates have agreed to debate on September 10th. And this came as Donald Trump was answering questions from reporters for the first time since Vice President Harris moved to the top of the Democratic Party ticket.
Now, I'm going to run this back again, but as you guys heard, I think they said September 10th. September 10th is when the debate of Harris versus Trump is supposed to happen. If you guys want, I will try to make sure that I am able to live stream that. Let me know in the comment section, and to the replay gang in the comment section after the video if you guys want a live streaming of the Harris versus Trump Mandalay Bay debate. It's not really in Mandalay Bay, but I'm just saying. And I will see if I can get that worked out. All right.
Debate. ABC has now confirmed the two candidates have agreed to debate on September 10th. And this came as Donald Trump was answering questions from reporters for the first time since Vice President Harris moved to the top of the Democratic Party ticket.
And now I'm running against somebody else, and we're leading. We're leading. So I'm not complaining. She can't do an interview. She's barely competent, and she can't do an interview. But I look forward to the debates because I think we have to set the record straight.
Now, Donald Trump called Vice President Harris a leftist radical during his hour-long news conference at Mar-a-Lago. He also attacked her political past in both Sacramento and in San Francisco.
Destroyed San Francisco. She destroyed California as the AG. But as the DA, she destroyed.
Now, the Harris campaign is calling Donald Trump's news conference a, quote, public meltdown.
Trump became a little confused during the news conference. A reporter asked him whether Harris's relationship with former San Francisco Mayor Willie Brown helped her political career.
Well, I know Willie Brown very well. In fact, I went down in a helicopter with him. We thought maybe this is the end. We were in a helicopter going to a certain location together, and there was an emergency landing. This was not a pleasant landing, and Willie was... He was a little concerned.
Now, we spoke with Willie Brown. He says that never happened. He told the New York Times that he was never in a helicopter with Donald Trump. And
this is insane, man. This is insane. Shout out to Alexandria. Alexandria said, what a circus. Facts. If you guys agree with Alexandria, give me a thumbs up in the chat. If you guys haven't smashed the like button yet, take a moment, smash that like button. Also, if you guys haven't hit the bell, please take a moment, hit that bell, and also please share the stream to your social media.
That he supports Kamala Harris and her goal of being the next president of the United States.
All right, so there's that. All right, so again, I think that it's interesting. I didn't see in this little video clip where it was exactly that Trump confused former San Francisco Mayor Willie Brown with Jerry Brown, but hey, that's what the title that's what the title said, right? You know, so. And shout out to Soas Muscle Pain for being a like enforcer. If you guys haven't enforced those likes with Soas Muscle Pain, throw some like enforcers in the chat. Definitely appreciate it. So, yeah, there was a situation that kind of was not really very welcoming for Kamala Harris that she had to deal with in Michigan. And what it was apparently there were some pro-Palestinian people in attendance at her rally. And they started to make a lot of noise and get a lot of attention. Okay, they started to make a lot of noise and get a lot of attention. And from what it seems like, people are not really feeling how she dealt with it. All right. People not really feeling how she dealt with it. Kamala Harris attempts to stifle pro-Palestinian dissent aren't working. Now, why aren't they working? Why aren't they working? Let's see how she did it. Let's see what she did. All right, so let me see. Hold on. Let's see what we got here.
Project 2025, if he is elected.
Man, she's getting booed. I didn't know it was like this. I didn't know it was that bad. I didn't know it was like this. What you got? You guys think it's like this at any other rally or no? Just at this one in just at this one in Michigan. Shout out to DSA. What's good with it, bro?
Project 2025, if he is elected. It's all good. It's all good. I'm here because we believe in democracy. Everyone's voice matters, but I am speaking now.
Uh-oh. 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 How do y'all think she did? If you could grade her with just traditional grades, what grade would you guys give that?
Everyone's voice matters, but I am speaking now. I am speaking now. You know what? If you want Donald Trump to win, then say that. Otherwise, I'm speaking.
Well, shout out to John. Shout out to Tony. Shout out to Adolph Spencer. Got to make sure I say both in the first name and the last name so YouTube don't try to get me. Shout out to DC Precise. Right. I don't know.
So dumb. You are really dumb. For real. Oh, you are so dumb. You are really dumb. For real.
Shout out to AB Promotion. Yeah, it sounds like I don't know. It sounds at this either suspect or sounds like somebody had a really good time at a disco party, you know what I'm saying, with some powder, you know what I'm saying? Oh man, I don't think she handled this very well. I think she kind of minimalized the the people who were booing. You know what I'm saying? I don't know, man. I don't know if people really want to kind of get talked to like that, especially if you're talking to them, trying to get them to vote for you. I don't see, like, I don't know. She must have thought she was on the Breakfast Club or something like that. Because the thing is that what I find interesting with this is that she tried to deal with them the way that these politicians are accustomed to dealing with us, and it kind of fell flat. It kind of fell flat. You know what I'm saying? Shout out to DC. DC says Tim Black showed the Lawrence O'Donnell clip of him glazing her up for her response or lack of response. Wow. Shout out to Hurricane IQ. Wow. Wow.
See, everyone's voice matters, but I am speaking now. I am speaking now. You know what? If you want Donald Trump to win, then say that. Otherwise, I'm speaking.
Now, this whole thing about quote unquote, if you want Donald Trump to win, I don't know if I would necessarily say any of those people want Donald Trump to win. I would say that they probably feel that whatever concerns it is that they have not been adequately addressed, or they've been addressed in a way that's not satisfactory to them, and they would like more attention shed on the issue that they have. I don't necessarily think that those people want Donald Trump to win, but I want you guys to pay attention to the shaming tactic. Pay attention to the SBE. Pay attention to the shaming tactic and the kind of shaming tactic that we see in the comment section a lot of times when we're criticizing these people. Now, anybody that's familiar with my channel knows that we criticize all of these people. It don't matter if you're a Democrat. It don't matter if you RFK. It don't matter if you Cornel West. It don't matter who you are. You know what I'm saying? We criticize you. But when certain people are getting criticized, That's when all of the problems start. And the problem usually starts when it's a Democrat. If it has anything to do with Joe Biden, if it's got anything to do with Kamala Harris, if it's got anything to do with Tim WALZ, the moment they start getting things ran down on them, all of a sudden it's, well, you must want Trump to win. No, it's not I must want anything. It's I must want clarity on these issues, and that's just it. Because you decide to try to shame people and run a marathon to try to flip some type of narrative, you're not going to flip any narrative over here. You know what I'm saying? You're not going to flip any narrative over here. We're going to look at the situation. We're going to look at the facts. We're going to look at the past record, and we're going to base whatever discussion that we have around all of those facts, not around emotional attachment or fake loyalty when we've never gotten any loyalty to us. Why should we be loyal to a party that's been disloyal to us? No, we're looking at this the same way we would go shopping. You know what I'm saying? Now, unless you know somebody who owns a store or you want to get somebody some type of, commission or something like that. Besides that, we're looking at the product. We're looking at cost benefit analysis, period. If you don't like the cost benefit analysis, then improve the product. People don't like what we say about Kamala Harris or Joe Biden or Tim WALZ, improve the product. You don't like what we say about Trump or Vance, improve the product. Because we have an option to buy, we have an option not to buy, we have an option to, maybe like put a small investment in. We got a lot of options, and we're exploring all of those options. You know what I'm saying? And that would be my advice for anybody. That would be my advice for anybody. You know what I'm saying? This right here, if you add, honestly, I don't think it would be a bad idea for people to start saying this, so that people can start understanding the regular disrespect that black people have to deal with from these politicians. But we should just say, yo, she tried to black people them people up there. She tried to black people them. Would you guys agree? Because, I mean, literally, that's how they come at us. That's how they get the celebrities to come at us. That's how they get the shills to come at us. That's how they get the simps to come at us. They tried to, shame those people into silence. Clearly, it didn't work. But what's interesting about it is that this is done to us all the time. The media never really tends to pick up on it, or either they just ignore it, whichever one. You know what I'm saying? But now they're exploring it when it comes to this particular group of people. So I just find that fascinating. We could draw parallels here. You know what I'm saying? So now here it says, Vice President Kamala Harris is receiving backlash over the Biden administration's response to Israel's war in Gaza, despite apparent attempts to quell dissent. All right. During a campaign speech on Wednesday in Michigan, a key swing state, which has the largest American Arab population in the United States, Harris was repeatedly heckled by pro-Palestinian protesters. Okay. Chants of Kamala, you can't hide. We won't vote for genocide. Oh, wow. From some sections of the crowd eventually led Harris to respond. And I don't know if responding to negative feedback, like at a large scale like that, I don't know if that's necessarily the best way to deal with a situation like that. Yeah, and I don't know. I don't know what she was trying to do with that. If you guys agree with Hurricane, give me a thumbs up. Hurricane said she tried to act hood there too. Yeah, she did. And it didn't do anything. Now, you know what's interesting? Why don't she get Luke, or why don't she get the ladies on The View, right? Or why don't she get Charlemagne? Or why don't she get all of these people to come out and say something about the Palestinian people to get them to behave better when she's talking? I guarantee you that we're not going to see an entourage of massive amounts of B-list celebrities coming out attempting to talk over the Palestinian people to get their behavior in shape for when Kamala is there. I guarantee you that's not going to happen. And so now we got to ask the question, well, why the different response? Why is that? You know what? If you want Donald Trump to win, then say that. Otherwise, I'm speaking, she said. It's amazing how we can make that assumption, how immature and trivial that is. You know what I'm saying? It's amazing how we can make that assumption and how immature and how trivial it is. You know what I'm saying? So now here it says the incident was the first major public criticism aimed at Harris over U.S. support of Israel during its war against the Palestinian military group Hamas since she replaced Joe Biden at the head of the Democratic Party's 2024 ticket, which is interesting because, I mean, she was the vice president while Biden was the president, and how she's avoided criticism from this for this long is beyond me. Does that make any sense to you guys? Like, it's kind of interesting how that works. You know what I'm saying? Biden was frequently attacked for his response to Israel's war in Gaza, and there were suggestions he was losing the support of young and progressive voters in his now ended 2024 bid because of it. Okay? There had been indications that Harris was attempting to avoid similar criticisms, knowing she would be the Democratic Party's 2024 candidate. Prior to Wednesday's campaign rally in Detroit, Harris met with members. Look at this. Now, I want you guys to pay attention. Harris met with members of Uncommitted National Movement. Okay? What is Uncommitted National Movement? This is what I'm talking about the parts where we need to kind of pay close attention to what goes on here. What is the Uncommitted National Movement? And pay very close attention to how Harris met with those people. Now, when it comes to the stuff that we want, who are people that Harris could meet with to get honest and accurate demands delivered to him? Who can they go to? Shout out to President 48th. What's good with it, bro? And real quick, shout out to everybody that's watching. I really appreciate you guys being here. If you haven't smashed the like button yet, please take a moment, smash that like button. Also, if you guys have not hit that bell, please take a moment, hit the bell, share the stream to your social media. And also, if you're not subscribed on Twitch, if you're not subscribed on Rumble, please take a moment, do that, as well as join the Discord. Shout out to Deneen. Deneen says the Democratic nominee without a single vote. Right. Right. And shout out to Alexandria for being a like enforcer. Make sure you guys throw some like enforcers in the chat for Alexandria. Absolutely. So now here it says a campaign group that urged voters to support Uncommitted on the Democratic primary ballot. All right. So now it's an organized campaign group. Okay. An organized campaign group. Harris herself went and met with them. Now, here's my question. What would make Kamala Harris take time out of her day to go and meet with this group? That means that some demands are more than likely going to get looked at, right? I'm gonna read it again. Prior to Wednesday's campaign rally in Detroit, Harris met with members of Uncommitted National Movement, a campaign group that urged voters to support Uncommitted on Democratic primary ballots rather than voting for Biden in protest of Israel's war in Gaza. All right, now let me ask you guys this. Is anybody calling these people here COINTELPRO or calling them agents, or is anybody doing that? No, not only is nobody doing that, this actually got the attention of Kamala Harris and she went to talk to them. Shout out to True FA. They triggered her. Yeah, facts. Facts. If you guys agree with True FA, give me a thumbs up. If you guys disagree, give me a thumbs down. Shout out to Deneen. Deneen says ADOS Foundation has a clear policy position to advance reparations and a black agenda. That's who she should meet with. I'm not mad at that. Shout out to Calvin C. What's good with it? I'm not mad at that. So now here's my question. What would a large percentage of the voters have to do to get her to be pressured to meet with somebody like the ADOS Foundation? You guys see these people here, they caused a disturbance. You know what I'm saying? They did some political, they made a political statement. Kamala Harris went and met with them immediately, which is interesting. Pretty fast reaction time. She didn't tell them, well, I'm not going to do something only for Palestinian people. No, she didn't do that. You know what I'm saying? She didn't do that, interestingly enough. Just something to think about. So when people start saying weird stuff, my advice, right, would be to tell those people to take a look at this article. You know what I'm saying? And take a look at the progress that the quote unquote Uncommitted National Movement made in getting Harris to meet with them. All right. So now here says more than 100,000 uncommitted votes were cast in February's Democratic primary in Michigan. So I want you guys to see one of the strategies that they did was they used the February Democratic primary to make a statement. Now they're following up on their statement. Shout out to Vince. What's good with it, bro? Now they're following up on their statement. Shout out to Adrian. What's good with it, bro? Adrian said, didn't they meet with her before their disturbance? You know what? I am not exactly sure, bro. They might have. Wasn't there some type of meeting during that primary thing with the uncommitted votes? Shout out to Late Not Last. It's not only us. Absolutely. It's not only us. The mainstream media, and whatever reason, the people that try to shame people into voting, they will try to get you to believe that it's only us. And this is one of the reasons why I encourage people to be open-minded. Do not live in an echo chamber. Look at information from all sources, because as long as you do that, you will see that one of the reasons why the people who preach isolationism, they don't preach isolationism for the better of everybody. They preach isolationism so that you're not able to fact check a lot of the nonsense that they tell you, to try to keep you dependent on the nonsense that they say. You know what I'm saying? Shout out to President 48. President 48 said, if we truly don't want rappers and celebrities talking for black people and black society, you have to create a community environment to control image and reputation in this presidential election. I would say in this presidential election and beyond. You know what I'm saying? I would say in this presidential election and beyond. I wouldn't disagree with that. If you guys agree with President 48, give me a thumbs up. If y'all disagree, if y'all agree with President 48, give me a thumbs up. If y'all disagree, give me a thumbs down. Shout out to Mike Nice. What's good with you, bro? Oh, okay. Adrian, you saying that they met with her right before the rally. Oh, okay. They did meet with her right before the rally. Okay, got you. Shout out to John. John said, I thought sitting on the couch was not a strategy. Right? You got people out there saying that it's COINTELPRO. Nobody's saying that these Palestinian people are COINTELPRO, and the presidential candidate actually came to talk to them. Trial and error. You know what I'm saying? We're now developing a data set. You know what I'm saying? We're now developing a data set. You feel me? So now here it says, Layla Elabed, founder of the group, said she told Harris, which means she spoke to her. She told Harris at the meeting, Michigan voters want to support you, but we need a policy that saves lives in Gaza right now. I meet with community members every day in Michigan who are losing tens and hundreds of family members in Gaza. Right now, we need an arms embargo. All right. So do you guys see what went on here? She gave a specific demand. Now, there was a lot that went into this, right? There was a unified message, organization, and a consistent, standardized, concerted effort to deliver that message directly to the politicians that they're delivering it to. Those consistent and organized actions got the attention of the politician. The politician sees that there's an issue. The politician then goes and meets with the individuals. Now, here's the thing that's interesting. This population of voters is far smaller than us. So imagine if we decided to, you know what I'm saying, get organized. Imagine how quickly we'd be able to get some turnaround time. You know what I'm saying? What do you guys think? Let me ask you guys this. We're going to run it down. We're going to do a quick fact check. Is this group of voters here bigger or smaller than us? That's my question. Based on that answer, right? If that voter base is smaller than us, if we did something like this, would it get more attention faster? Right? Also, if we are a bigger voter base than that, would we be able to demand more? See where I'm going with that? So now anybody who, says XYZ or whatever, you can say, well, what do you call this? What is this? Because this is similar to the couch. The thing that's different from the couch is that the couch is not really, it's not really organized to the point where it's visible online, but there's, you know what I'm saying? Like there's like, I think it wouldn't have been a bad idea to go to the polls and actually cast a ballot that might have said couch. So that way there was a record instead of just not going at all. If people went to the polls and actually wrote down couch, then there's an accounting of it. Like, see how they got the accounting of the 100,000 uncommitted? I don't know if there's an accounting for the amount of couch. You know what I'm saying? It's got to be accounted for. Shout out to Adrian. Now, here go my thing. Now, I'm not saying that we would get everything that we asked for. I'm just saying we would definitely get some attention. And then from there, you know what I'm saying, negotiation skills and what people are willing to do versus what they're not willing to do will end up making those determinants, right? I'm just simply saying that I think that this could get some eyes on, and could get us in front of somebody that we need to talk to. Because one of the biggest critiques that people have about the couch is, how is that going to be a vehicle to get to speak to somebody? And I don't think that that's a bad critique. I think it's bad to just go around and say people you don't agree with are COINTELPRO, but the particular critique of how is getting the couch going to get you in front of anybody, especially in the state that is in, not really organized, I don't think that that's a bad critique. I think that that's actually a helpful critique. You know what I'm saying? I don't think that that's a bad critique at all. I think that's a critique that people should take, listen to, and build upon. I don't think that's a bad critique at all. You know what I'm saying? So now here it says, in late July, when Harris was the new presumptive 2024 Democratic candidate, the vice president met with Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu and called for a ceasefire in Gaza. In a statement, Harris also used emotive language and was correct about Palestinian suffering, saying she will not be silent about the images of dead children seen amid the war. Harris also said she had serious concerns about the scale of human suffering in Gaza, including the death of far too many innocent civilians. Now, what I find fascinating about this particular situation is that issues, you guys saw the AIPAC, how they took out Cori Bush, right? You guys know about that. You guys saw that. Now you got the AIPAC taking out Cori Bush, and now you got the Harris WALZ administration kind of paying attention to an issue that a small group of people has. Both of these issues are issues of things that are going on outside of the United States. Both of these things are issues going on outside of the United States. Now, here's my question. What if they talked about this going on inside of the United States? I think that that's fascinating. I think that that's interesting. And I think that that's something that should be noted. You know what I'm saying? I don't think that's a bad idea at all. Shout out to Caldona. Caldona said our Black grassroots group should be called the People They Avoid Committee. Facts. Or we should call it benign respect or something like that. You know what I'm saying? If you guys agree, give me a thumbs up. If y'all disagree, give me a thumbs down. So now here it says Nathan J. Robinson, political commentator and editor-in-chief of the left-wing progressive Current Affairs magazine, posted on X, formerly Twitter, so far there are no signs whatsoever that Harris will stop the ongoing crimes in Palestine. Okay? Those concerned with stopping these crimes have to put pressure on Harris and running mate Tim WALZ to make real commitments and not just occasionally lament civilian deaths. So what is important right here? I want you guys to pay very close attention to how they're focused on the commitments. They're focused on getting the commitments. You like that, Deneen? Benign respect. Yeah, I don't think that's bad. I think that's pretty good. I think that's pretty good. You know what I'm saying? I like the People They Avoid committee too. You know what I'm saying? They're focused on getting these objectives done. A law professor, Amir Zahar, posted, to be clear, there is still zero evidence that Harris' policy on Palestine will diverge from Biden at all. So they're not letting up on this. And they're making noise about it. And one of the things that they do by doing this is also chipping away at her credibility. This is also chipping away at her credibility. Yeah. Are you talking about the benign neglect memorandum, Adrian, or is this something newer? Adrian said, keep in mind, there is still the leaked memo from a few years ago when the DNC says to just listen to black folks and act concerned, but make no promises. I'll send it to you later if you want. I think that's the benign neglect memorandum. You talking about the one that it was written by Daniel Patrick Moynihan? We got the TCU in the building. Shout out to the unit. Shout out to the unit. You know what I'm saying? If anything, all we know is that it will be the same policy with more energy, 25 years younger, and accompanied by a lot more laughter. So they're taking shots. You know what I'm saying? That's a shot. So now here it says, actually, I don't think she should give Palestine protesters the "oh, you love Trump" treatment. They're expressing legit concerns about a genocide. Now, that's interesting, right? I've never really heard anybody say, well, you know, you guys shouldn't really try to lump black people in with Trump about our concerns, you know what I'm saying, about how she presents herself. We're legit, you know, talking about something that we've been attacked based on ever since we've been in this country, race. Shout out to Terrence. What's good with it, bro? Oh, there was a memo from Nancy Pelosi. I didn't know that. That's new. For me at least, that's new for me. I didn't know that. If anybody got a copy of that memo, shoot it to me. Get it to me on Discord, Facebook Messenger, Twitter. Yeah, we definitely need to talk about that, because if that memo is out, then my question is, what is anybody's expectation for us to do as far as any type of political organization if they've already come with multiple statements saying that they're directly not going to address our political concerns? I mean, what I don't understand what anybody's expectation is. We're supposed to just keep running our heads into the wall? What, until it busts open? Like, what? I don't get it. I don't get it. Shout out to Miss Nisi. What's good with it, Miss Nisi? Does that make any sense to you guys? So now here it says Harris has a real chance to strike a different tone on Gaza, and she's just not. Harris's team has been contacted for comment via email. All right, so we're going to watch this again. Let me see how much more we got. Yeah, we're going to watch this again if y'all didn't hear it the first time. Let's see. Hold on real quick. When you try to do too much, that's when the computer start acting like it don't understand English. It don't understand English. It don't understand binary. It just act like it just don't understand. Yeah, she's sitting up here really acting like she ain't got no sense. You know what I'm saying?
He intends to surrender our fight against the climate crisis, and he intends to end the Affordable Care Act. You know what? If you want Donald Trump to win, then say that. Otherwise, I'm speaking. He intends to surrender our fight against the climate crisis, and he intends to end the Affordable Care Act. You know what? If you want Donald Trump to win, then say that. Otherwise, I'm speaking.
Oh, like she dropped bars. Shout out to Unsunken One. What's good with it, bro? Like she dropped bars or something. Hey, look at her face. Look at her face. She don't look happy at all. Right, exactly. Shout out to Adrian. Adrian says, look at the performative sass and disrespect. These folks have family dying. Yeah. Yeah. Look at her face, man. You could tell she don't even want to, like, she like, man, just shut up so I can get through this. I hate to say this, and it's going to sound bad, but y'all going to get what I'm saying, though. As of right now, as of history, in today's world, you can kind of only deal with black people like that. You're going to get a wake-up call if you try to deal with other people like that. You don't really, there's a reason why it's called black peopling, because there's only some stuff that you can do to black people. You try to do this to another group of people, they're not having it, and they're going to utilize their resources to not have it. Yeah, she straight look like a Karen. If y'all agree with DC Precise, she's sitting up there looking Karen'd out. Give me a thumbs up. If y'all disagree, give me a thumbs down. She's straight up sitting up there looking Karen'd out. Like she can't be bothered. Ain't that her little phrase that she always say? She can't be bothered, or bothered can't be her, or something weird. Shout out to ALC. ALC said that's because instinctively she knows that nobody chose her. She's dealing with a dilemma that many like her deal with.
He intends to surrender our fight against the climate crisis, and he intends to end the Affordable Care Act. You know what? If you want Donald Trump to win, then say that. Otherwise, I'm speaking.
Like she act like she talking to some kids, man. Let me ask y'all this: if she was talking, and she did that little sharp head nod too, if she talked to y'all like that, what would you do? How would you all react to that? I mean, let's not keep it a buck. She has talked to us like that, right? I mean, at least she didn't tell these people she's not going to do something to benefit only Palestinians. No, she's not going to do something that benefits Palestine and doesn't do something that benefits Israel at the same time, because we all need help. She didn't say nothing like that. She didn't say nothing like that. She made sure to not say nothing like that. Now, she would have said that to us without hesitation. She would have said that to us without hesitation. You know? I mean, I'm not trying to be funny, man, but she's visibly upset. She's wearing how irritated and angry she is on her sleeve. She can't hide it. She can't control it. It's very out there and obvious. Literally, no one looking at this is not aware of what's going through her head. She has a horrible poker face. You know? What do you guys think?
He intends to surrender our fight against the climate crisis, and he intends.
And then she starts, she starts with the laughter. You know what I mean? Like, lady, everybody ain't really trying to just hear you sit there and laugh when they tell you something. Honestly, like, let's just keep it above. Like, that's kind of rude. Like, you ain't got no home training. So don't be sitting up there saying, don't be trying to sit up there and attach yourself to us and then turn around and go out in public and act like you don't got no home training. You know what I'm saying? So now here it says, however, a number of people have hit out at those who are still attacking Harris, despite the vice president voicing her disapproval of the war and actively calling for a ceasefire. As the president of the United States, get it done, right? Like no one wants to hear these excuses from the people who make the rules. That's why everybody was looking at Biden like he was crazy when he came with the border package, and then they went to sit there and say that conservatives didn't want to sign the border package when conservatives had been making the most noise, for the most part, about the border forever. You know what I'm saying? And shout out to everybody that's watching. I appreciate you guys. If you guys haven't smashed the like button yet, we got 40 people watching and we got 46 likes. If everybody could take a moment, smash that like button, get us to 80 likes, that'd be great. Share the stream to your social media. If you're not subscribed, subscribe. Make sure y'all throw some like enforcers in the chat for Brooklyn Queen coming through, enforcing the likes. Definitely appreciate it. And absolutely make sure y'all join that Discord. Facts. All right. So now here it says others noted that objections arrived after some pro-Palestinian activists called on Harris to not choose Pennsylvania Governor Josh Shapiro as her running mate. Shapiro is Jay and a vocal Israel supporter and has frequently defended Israel's right to defend itself amid the war. Now, let me ask you guys this question. How many people think that she didn't choose Shapiro? How many people think that she didn't choose Shapiro because of pressure coming from this? Do you all think that issues like this cause her to not choose Shapiro? Prominent blogger Matthew Yagaisis posted on X, "This is not per se a knock on Tim WALZ, but it's striking that the pro-Palestinian movement could not stick to the terms of the give us Tim WALZ or we will dedicate 100% of our effort to electing Trump, even though we concede he is worse on our key issue deal for one day. They ask never made any sense because WALZ, Harris, Shapiro, and Biden all have similar views on Israel, but it is in fact an ask that was made only for the people who made it to immediately confirm that there is no sense in trying to bargain with them." So again, now you got people saying, you know, they're saying some weird stuff here. And I gotta agree with Adrian. They got Shapiro got a lot of baggage. And I gotta agree with Chameleon No. I agree 100%. Chameleon No says she only cares about getting selected. Facts. If you guys agree, give me a thumbs up. If y'all disagree, give me a thumbs down. I agree. So now here it says political pollster Adam Carlson added, in case it wasn't already abundantly clear, nothing will ever be enough for them. So I want you guys to pay very close attention. Nothing will ever be enough for them. That's very interesting. You know what I'm saying? Especially when we're only talking about one issue, nothing will ever be enough. But okay, the goalposts will keep moving regardless, and they're not worth anyone's time, attention, or energy. So this is what this Adam Carlson person said about the Palestinian people. You know what I'm saying? And the pro-Palestinian people. Very interesting. In a statement released in the wake of the meeting with leaders of the Uncommitted National Movement Group, Harris's team said in this brief engagement, she reaffirmed that her campaign will continue to engage with those communities. The vice president has been clear she will always work to ensure Israel is able to defend itself against Iran and Iran-backed terrorist groups. The vice president is focused on securing the ceasefire and the hostage deal currently on the table. All right. As she has said, it is time for this war to end in a way where Israel is secure, hostages are released, the suffering of Palestinian civilians ends, and the Palestinian people can realize their right to dignity, freedom, and self-determination. That's interesting, but not having any home or anything like that secure for them. Just, you know what I'm saying? Like y'all could basically, you know what I'm saying? Have just, you know, you can just basically exist in oblivion, purgatory. Sound familiar? You know what I'm saying? But, you know, the Palestinian people got to deal with it. You know what I'm saying? They make the conscious decision to come over here and are anti-black towards us. You know what I'm saying? So I don't know what to tell them other than welcome to America. This is what you get. And also, while you're here being welcomed in America, just remember this: as you sit there and work for your American dollar paycheck, those tax dollars that you're getting as you're working are literally paying for the very thing that you don't support, which kind of makes you wonder how you can be against that and actually live here and work here. But again, those are issues for those people to solve. You know what I'm saying? The same way when we need help with our issues are our issues to solve. Because nobody cares. Don't nobody care about what we got going on. You know what I'm saying? It's hard enough. It's hard enough to get, you know what I'm saying? It's hard enough to get a lot of people that's, you know what I'm saying, a part of us to care. You know what I mean? It's hard enough for us to get a lot of us to care. We got to deal with that first before we deal with going around, flying around the world, being, you know what I'm saying, Kryptonian superheroes to people that don't care. Shout out to my man, KOK Fit. What's good with you, bro? All right. So now what we about to do is take a look at Tim WALZ's record on immigration. Now, let me ask you guys this. We got people that are voting and we got people that are not voting. This is not a 100% vote group in the chat. This is not a 100% couch group in the chat. This is not a 100% Trump group in the chat. This is not a 100% Harris group. This is not a 100% RFK group. All right. I got my opinions. Everybody in the chat got theirs. We talk about them. You know what I'm saying? Uh-oh. John, shout out to John. John's starting it off already. He said he ain't happy about what happened yesterday. Make sure y'all show John some love. Throw some flames, some radiation emoji, and some ducks in the chat from my man John, funding the organization, starting it off with the first stream sponsor. I appreciate you, bro.
How do you think that we fund this organization, huh? We're not exactly the March of Dimes.
Cash rules everything around me. Cream, get the money. Dollar, dollar bill, yo.
Appreciate you, bro. So now let's just talk hypotheticals. All right, let's talk hypotheticals for a minute. Let's just say everybody plans on voting. All right. Who would you want to see win? Would you want to see a pro-immigration, lenient border policy candidate win? Or would you want to see someone who enforces the border and enforces the laws of securing the border? Which candidate do you want to see? And while you guys are answering that, shout out to my man Hurricane. My man Hurricane said, this is all I can do today, bro. Hey, listen, I definitely appreciate you, bro. I appreciate y'all being here, let alone the love. You know what I'm saying? I appreciate y'all. Make sure y'all show Hurricane IQ some love. Throw some flames, some radiation emoji, and some ducks in the chat for my man Hurricane IQ funding the organization.
How do you think that we fund this organization, huh? We're not exactly the March of Dimes.
Silence! Silence! I ain't got no money, pop.
Got the money, y'all. There's poor people around.
I'm rich, biatch.
Definitely appreciate you, bro. I definitely appreciate you, bro. So let me see. Hold on. I thought I had pulled this up on the screen. My bad. All right. So check this out. This is an article from Washington Examiner. Tim WALZ's immigration record in Minnesota shows support for sanctuary policies. Is this anything that anybody wants to see? How many people are supporting sanctuary policies in 2024? Let me see. Is this a video? Let's see what they're talking about. They be having some weird stuff on these sites. You know what I'm saying? All right, hold on.
But we can get out there, reach out, make the case. And for one thing, don't ever shy away from our progressive values. One person's socialism is another person's neighborliness.
Governor Tim WALZ's record on immigration has come into focus after them.
I didn't know that he was on the White Dudes for Harris campaign call. Yo, they just started. I don't know if y'all have seen it, but they got a YouTube channel. How many people seen the White Dudes for Harris YouTube channel? If y'all seen it, give me a thumbs up. If y'all haven't seen it, give me a thumbs down. That channel, if I'm not mistaken, when I saw it last, it had 11,000 subscribers. I don't even know if they post no videos or not. You know what I'm saying?
But we can get out there, reach out, make the case. And for one thing, don't ever shy away from our progressive values. One person's socialism is another person's neighborliness.
Shout out to John. Make sure y'all show John some love for hitting Streamelements. Definitely appreciate it, bro. Funding the organization. John trying to show out on y'all today. John trying to show out on y'all today.
How do you think that we fund this organization, huh? We're not exactly the march of dimes.
This is the hardest record out.
Cash rules everything around me. Queen, get the money. Dollar, dollar bill, yo.
Shout out to you, bro. I definitely appreciate it. Deneen says he was horrible during C-19, encouraging people to snitch on their neighbors and threatening to lock people up. Yeah, is anybody surprised from the guy that called the National Guard? This dude was literally trying to use martial law like tactics and policies. I'm not surprised that he would do something like that. You know what I'm saying?
Governor Tim WALZ's record on immigration has come into focus after Democratic presidential nominee Kamala Harris selected the Minnesotan as her running mate. Harris is vulnerable on immigration after being tasked early on as vice president with addressing root causes of the border crisis, only for illegal immigration levels to rise to historic highs during her tenure. As Harris goes up against Republican presidential nominee Donald Trump in November, her selection of a Democrat...
Now, I want you guys to pay close attention. You guys see what mainstream or what media outlet this is, right? This is the Washington Examiner, right? Let me ask you guys this question. Politically, traditionally, what direction does the Washington Examiner lean? Now, do y'all recognize the accent? Is anybody surprised by the accent reading this article?
With a record of implementing progressive immigration policies could give Harris a leg up with Democrats. WALZ is a longtime moderate Democrat who in recent years has shifted further left with support for policies that benefit illegal immigrants.
Did y'all hear that? Now, who wants that? These are things that you need to know about Tim WALZ. It sounds like Tim WALZ and Kamala Harris are on the same page about immigration, and that page is not the one that I think the majority of us are on.
Rise to historic highs during her tenure. As Harris goes up against Republican presidential nominee Donald Trump in November, her selection of a Democrat with a record of implementing progressive immigration policies could give Harris a leg up with Democrats. WALZ is a longtime moderate Democrat who in recent years has shifted further left with support for policies that benefit illegal immigrants, even re-upping in early August a clip of him stating he would invest in ladders capable of getting migrants in Mexico over the border wall.
I always say, let me know how high.
Warrior, whack. Mage, whack. New original hero class that can mix and match abilities and talents from every class in the game to forge your own original hero? Yes. Ascension is a custom WoW mod where you'll fuse together classes to build your own original custom hero. Instead of choosing a class like Mage, Paladin, or Druid, you are instead a hero. An original class that can freely mix and match abilities, spells, and talents from any of the other 9 classes. Forge a truly unique champion and tackle a classic Vanilla Plus setting, complete with fully scripted dungeons, raids, battlegrounds.
If it's 25 feet, then I'll invest in the 30-foot ladder factory. That's not how you stop this.
As a gubernatorial candidate in 2018, WALZ said he supported Minnesota becoming a sanctuary state, a term used for local and state jurisdictions that do not cooperate with federal immigration officers.
Should Minnesota be a sanctuary state?
If the definition of that is that the federal government enforces immigration law and local law enforcement enforces local law, then yes.
That's interesting. Shout out to TD. What's good with it, bro? TD said I need that game. That's hilarious. Man, my computer was moving all slow. Like I'm trying to stop it. You know what I'm saying? Now, again, you guys are hearing his stance on immigration, right? So now let me ask you guys this. When it comes to a presidency ticket, right, or even a presidential administration of Kamala Harris plus this guy, I mean, when he's asked about sanctuary cities, this is what he says. What do you guys, if Minnesota and California look the way that they look, what's going to happen to the entire United States on a federal level?
State, a term used for local and state jurisdictions that do not cooperate with federal immigration officers.
Should Minnesota be a sanctuary state?
If the definition of that is that the federal government enforces immigration law and local
law enforcement enforces local law, then yes.
WALZ has.
So now here's my question. How is, you know, that's a dishonest answer, because you know that the sanctuary city mandates create a situation where local law enforcement doesn't cooperate with federal immigration law enforcement. He knows that. So why would you sit there and say, well, if the definition isn't the definition, then I guess it would be okay? What that means is that if you want to say that, like what he's saying is that he's okay with sanctuary cities and not okay with sanctuary cities at the same time. And he's using word games. So why would you trust somebody that uses word games like this? He's using word games. He basically said, well, as long as we define sanctuary city as a place that's not a sanctuary city, then yes, I support sanctuary cities. That's effectively what he said. And the news lady let him get away with it.
Candidate in 2018. WALZ said he supported Minnesota becoming a sanctuary state, a term used for local and state jurisdictions that do not cooperate with federal immigration officers.
Should Minnesota be a sanctuary state?
If the definition of that is that the federal government enforces immigration law and local law enforcement enforces local law, then yes.
What does that mean? Shout out to TD. We got TD, our resident immigration expert in the building. When you listen to that, TD, what do you hear? Shout out to Satra. Satra says, Rob, is Harris needed to get India out of BRICS? Shout out to Manosphere Hall of Fame. Manosphere Hall of Fame had actually brought that up. That's not something that I've looked into or paid attention to or investigated. I don't see why that might not be a use that they might have for her. Honestly, I can't really give an opinion because of lack of research and lack of information. I don't want to like jump out the window and say something, and I've never really assessed the situation in that way. Since that has been brought to my attention, I have been paying close attention, right? Like starting, you know what I'm saying? Like the last couple of days, been paying attention to see if I can see any correlations, but I haven't looked at enough information to make a determination or not. But I don't see why it wouldn't be a possibility. I don't see why it wouldn't be a possibility. But at the same time, no, I don't know how, I don't know if Kamala Harris's like ties to India, I don't know if that would be enough to just make India just bend its will and say, I don't want to be a part of BRICS anymore. How many people remember when the United States and India really had a big issue over C-19 vaccines? The United States and India have had some beefs. You know what I'm saying? Shout out to Terrence Hooker. Constant doublespeak. Yeah, that's facts. Make sure you guys show some love to Saltra. She's the third stream sponsor.
How do you think that we fund this organization, huh? We're not exactly the March of Dimes.
Cash rules everything around me. Queen, get the money. Dollar, dollar bill, yo.
Shout out to Liberty Twitcher. Liberty Twitcher says, when you ask where WALZ is on immigration, are you referring to legal, illegal, or both? Because of the way that the Democrats have manipulated immigration policy, I would say that when talking about immigration, the discussion can no longer be left to only illegal immigration, because as we've seen with the parole requirements, it's nothing for them to just make a bunch of laws have legal requirements that were in the past illegal. So in order to look at the entire situation and how immigration is affecting people, knowing that we have an administration in right now that will do whatever is necessary to make something look good on paper, including manipulate a law to make something that was illegal legal, we have to look at the entire situation. So I would say I'm referring to both. I would say that I'm referring to both, and I'm looking at the enforcement and convertibility of the legal side as well as the enforcement of the illegal side. You know what I'm saying?
WALZ has signed several state bills into law since becoming governor in 2019. Under WALZ's leadership, Minnesota in
Shout out to Leonard. What's good with
2023
it, bro?
approved free college tuition for illegal immigrants in the state under its North Star Promise program. Earlier in 2023, WALZ signed into law a bill that would allow all residents to apply for a driver's license, including up to 81,000 people without permanent legal.
Now, who's okay with that? Did y'all hear that? So let me ask you guys this. So when Trump and Vance make the accusations that Tim WALZ is quote unquote radical left, far left, based on what you're hearing here about these policies, where is he sounding like he's at on the political spectrum? Do y'all agree with Deneen? If y'all agree with Deneen, give me a thumbs up. If y'all disagree with Deneen, then give me a thumbs down.
Bitch up! Swing the remix God! I'll tell this bitch up! Tie this bitch up! I will! Tie this bitch up! I will! Tie this bitch up! I'll tell this bitch up!
Hey, when they do the Alabama Riverboat reunion party, that should be the song that's on rotation. That should be the song that's on rotation, and everybody like had a chair up in the air and wave your chair if you just don't care. You know what I'm saying? That's what they that's what they should do. throw your hands in the chair. You know what I'm saying? Throw your hands in the chair if you was over there. You know what I'm saying?
In the state under its North Star Promise program. Earlier in 2023, WALZ signed into law a bill that would allow all residents to apply for a driver's license, including up to 81,000 people without permanent legal status.
Now, how will they, with these programs, and I want everybody to answer this, with these programs where illegal people are able to apply for driver's license, whether it's a rental car, whether it's a commercial vehicle, or whether it's a car that they own somehow, how are they getting an insurance policy? And what happens if an uninsured, undocumented person hits you? Because I don't think that there's a rider on insurance policies for uninsured, undocumented motorists. How many people have recently gotten a car insurance policy or have renewed their car insurance policy? Is there anything in your car insurance policy that covers you if you're hit by an undocumented, uninsured motorist? And does your uninsured motorist insurance cover undocumented, uninsured motorists? That is an important question. How can you drive? Why would you even apply for a driver's license? You're not allowed to drive without insurance. So, like, you can apply for a license and you can have a license, but if you don't have insurance, that's the next blockade from you being able to drive. Right. Shout out to Deneen. Our insurance rates will go sky high in order to compensate. Now, my question for you guys is, has that issue even been entertained? Has that issue even been looked at? Has anybody even talked about that issue? It's just, oh, we'll get these people, we'll give these people a license. A lot of the places where they're giving these people licenses at are extremely high traffic, high accident areas. Places like Chicago, places like New York City, places like California. These are places that have car insurance rates that are already off the chain because of what people who are documented and people who are citizens are doing, let alone undocumented people. Shout out to Michael R. Michael R says solution: free insurance for illegal immigration. That's literally the logic that they use, bro. That'll literally be the next thing that they do. Yeah, places like DMV, where I believe you have to have PIP in MedPay. Shout out to my man Mage for being a like enforcer. I appreciate you, bro. Make sure y'all throw some like enforcers in the chat for Mage TV. I definitely appreciate it, bro.
Earlier in 2023, WALZ signed into law a bill that would allow all residents to apply for a driver's license, including up to 81,000 people without permanent legal status.
Now, see, here's my thing, right? when you start like there's a scale for certain things, if you ask me, right? There's a spectrum. Like everything has a spectrum. Nothing really goes from solid to solid and skips. You know what I'm saying? You kind of get what would you say? You kind of go through levels, right? Now, when you have those politicians that are willing to like give federal and state permits, licenses, things that are like specifically for citizens, when you're starting to give those things to people who aren't even documented, when you do something like this, yeah, we can give you a driver's license. That to me is when it's confirmed. There's not even a need to ask anymore. It's confirmed that you're quote unquote far left, because now now what you're doing is that people who are not citizens, they're not getting any type of vetting process, and they're given the same exact privileges as people who have been here and are constantly vetted on a day-to-day basis. If you guys agree, give me a thumbs up. If you guys disagree, give me a thumbs down.
Republicans were quick to sack WALZ over his immigration record and posted statements online within hours. The Republican National
Warrior, whack. Mage, whack. New original hero class that can mix and match abilities and talents from every class in the game to forge.
Committee's research arm posted on X, quote, Tim WALZ, driver's license for illegals, weak, failed, dangerously liberal, just like Kamala. Former GOP presidential candidate Nikki Haley called the Harris-WALZ ticket a win for open borders, socialism, and Iran.
Now they're calling it a win for open borders, socialism, and Iran. Okay. So now here says Governor Tim WALZ's record on immigration has come into focus after Vice President Kamala Harris, the Democratic presidential nominee, selected the Minnesotan as her running mate. Harris is vulnerable on immigration after being tasked early on as vice president with addressing the root causes of the border crisis, only for illegal immigration levels to rise to historic highs during her tenure. Now, the media hasn't critiqued her or criticized her about this at all. And if we critique her or criticize her about it, people got a problem with us doing that. It doesn't matter if people got a problem with us doing that. We got a problem with what she's doing. So we're going to continue to keep doing what we're doing. You know what I'm saying? So now here it says, as Harris goes up against former President Donald Trump, the Republican presidential nominee in November, her selection of a Democrat with a record of implementing progressive immigration policies could give Harris a leg up with Democrats, but also give pause to independents and Republicans concerned about border security. Now, let me ask you guys this question. After seeing that Kamala Harris decided to pick this individual, Tim WALZ, and now we know some of Tim WALZ's stances on immigration, what do you feel like Kamala Harris and Tim WALZ will do once they become president? Will they secure the borders? Will they stop creating situations that make it easy to flood cities with migrants? Will they do that? What will things look like? Shout out to Deneen. Deneen says, not enough of us care about the impact of illegal immigration on Black communities. You guys agree with Deneen? If you guys agree with Deneen, give me a thumbs up. If y'all disagree, give me a thumbs down. And if you guys do agree with Deneen, help spread this message. It don't make sense to keep it secret if we think that it's something that's everybody needs to know about, right? So now here says WALZ beat out centrist candidate Senator Mark Kelly, who had broken with the White House in recent years to call for President Joe Biden to finish portions of the Trump-era border wall and opposed its plan to end Title 42, a border policy that allowed illegal immigrants to be returned to Mexico. So now, as you guys can see, this guy, Mark Kelly, if I'm not mistaken, this is the dude that was the astronaut. He was actually tighter on the border. This was one of the people that they said Kamala Harris was looking at. This Mark Kelly dude. Mark Kelly, right? He called for Joe Biden to finish the border wall, and he opposed the plan to end Title 42. This was a Democrat that Kamala Harris could have chosen. Instead, she chose the driver's license for all guy. What does that tell you about where she's going and what she plans on doing? Shout out to Soas Muscle Pain. I appreciate you. Make sure that you guys show Soas Muscle Pain some love for enforcing the likes and drop those likes. Let me see where we at. We got 52 people watching and we got 66 likes. Let's try to get those likes up to 120. All right. WALZ has held public office for nearly 2 decades and has shifted. Look at this. He has shifted further to the left with support for policies, all right, that benefit illegal immigrants, even re-upping in early August a clip of him stating that he would invest in ladders capable of getting migrants in Mexico over the border wall. This is the guy that Kamala Harris chose. How many people heard about that? He's going to get some ladders. He's going to get some ladders. I don't know if that's the best idea. I always say, let me know how high it is. If it's 25 feet, then I'll invest in a 30-foot ladder factory. That's not how you stop this, WALZ says. Okay? So let's see here.
And he's not going to do anything. He talks about this wall. I always say, let me know how high it is. If it's 25 feet, then I'll invest in the 30-foot ladder factory. That's not how you stop this. You stop this using electronics. You stop it using more border control agents. And you stop it by having a legal system that allows for that tradition of allowing folks to come here just like my relatives did.
There you There you go. There you go. Shout out to Brooklyn Queen. Brooklyn Queen said, I'm 13 minutes behind. Playback speed, 2 minutes. Catching up. John Guillory. John, you on the radar, bro. You on the radar. Yeah, I wouldn't disagree. Deneen says that's a big middle finger from Kamala. Y'all think I messed up the border by accident? Right. So then she goes and gets the driver's license for all guy when she had an option. She had an option to get a guy who was more moderate on the border. Now, we know that moderates don't really help us in any of the things that we specifically need, but a moderate would have definitely been a positive in that direction because that's something that we need is the border stuff toned down, right? Shout out to Patrick. Patrick says, black folks don't care. They'll care after the illegals have been in for 10 years, taking control of the city council. The police force is 70% Latino. Blacks have been pushed out of jobs. That's when. I don't even know if that's when, bro. Look at California. They still don't get it. They still don't get it. You know what I'm saying? Look at California. Look at Texas. You know what I'm saying? I think it has been 10 years, more than 10 years in California. Recording a movie like Friday in California with Ice Cube and Chris Tucker, Craig and Smokey, it's not even realistic anymore. It's more realistic now to record Cheech and Chong. You know what I'm saying?
And he's not going to do anything. He talks about this wall. I always say, let me know how high it is. If it's 25 feet, then I'll invest in the 30-foot ladder factory. That's not how you stop this. You stop this using electronics. You stop it using more border control agents. And you stop it by having a legal system that allows for that tradition of allowing folks to come here just like my relatives did, to come here, be able to work and establish the American dream.
Your relatives didn't come here in a good, even honest fashion either. They had pro-white immigration policies that prioritized white people and made white compliant groups white people under the naturalization laws. That's what your relatives were able to take advantage of. Like, I can't stand these. Now, as much as they talk about this dude with stolen valor, there goes some stolen valor for you right there, the quote unquote lies of my parents did this, my parents did that talking point. You know what I'm saying?
He's not interested in that. He wants to demonize. Look, we produce most of the turkeys that you're going to eat in Thanksgiving. Those are immigrants working hard, establishing themselves here. What's he going to do? Is he going to take them all out?
Those are immigrants probably that came through a legal pathway, or immigrants who came illegally that are being protected by whatever mega farm that they work for. You're lying, dude. And if they're here working, then the system worked for them. So what are you talking about? You're using examples of people who are already here, which means that they're here, which means that if they're already here, you probably they shouldn't be discussed. We're talking about people coming in here and people who are here illegally. Are these people here that you're talking about legally here or not? Right. Those would be the brown, white people. Those would be what JD Vance calls his interracial relationship, right? That's what JD Vance calls it. He calls it his interracial relationship with a brown woman that has white checked off on her birth certificate. Just like how there's a black woman running for president whose mother has white checked off on her birth certificate, and her father has Irish descendants who started the city called Brownstown in Jamaica. That kind of thing. You know what I'm saying?
Most of the turkeys that you're going to eat in Thanksgiving, those are immigrants working hard, establishing themselves here. What's he going to do? Is he going to take them all out? And how is the economy going to?
So how is working hard, getting those free checks, getting those New York City checks? How many people are subscribed to my other channel, Blacklight Revelations? If you guys are subscribed to my other channel, Blacklight Revelations, put a radiation emoji in the chat. If you're not subscribed to Blacklight Revelations, give me a thumbs down. If you guys get any thumbs downs in the chat, if the moderators could put the link for BLR1 in the chat, that would be great. Because if you do not know about these programs, what you need to do is you need to watch all of the Undocumented Bros videos. Okay?
Work. These people, my neighbors, whether they're Republican or Democrats, don't want to demonize their neighbors. They just want a safe border. She's got a plan. The Langford Cinema bill was a big key to it, and Donald Trump doesn't want it. He thrives on chaos.
Okay. So there's that. Okay. So now here it says Harris tapped the two-term governor Tuesday morning. The veteran-turned-congressman has a history of advancing liberal immigration policies, a top matter on voters' minds heading into November. As a gubernatorial candidate in 2018, WALZ said he supported Minnesota becoming a sanctuary state, a term used for local and state jurisdictions that do not cooperate with federal immigration officers. They also give a lot of money, right? They also give a lot of money to these people. So it's going to be a lot of money coming out of taxpayer dollars. Shout out to John. I appreciate you, bro. My position on Minnesota becoming a sanctuary state boils down to who has responsibility for enforcing immigration laws, WALZ said at the time. I mean, that's an intellectually dishonest answer to that question. WALZ has signed several state bills into law since becoming governor in 2019. Under his leadership, Minnesota in 2023 approved free college tuition for illegal immigrants in the state under its North Star Promise program. Let me ask you guys this question. How many of you guys are burdened with the insurmountable debt of having to pay for college and grad school yourself? So not only am I, a Black American who comes from a family that's been economically starved our entire existence, you know what I'm saying? I paid for college myself with a few academic scholarships that I got, as well as working full-time my entire time there. You know what I'm saying? And they got free college tuition for illegal immigrants in the state under its North Star Promise program. How many people knew that? I don't feel that we should just shell out all of our money to make everybody else's life easy, man. I don't think that we should do that. I think that we should take care of our families and our immediate needs first. I'm not comfortable with that. I'm not cool with that. I think that that's bogus. This is ridiculous. I think of all of the things that I could be doing with the money that I spent on school, because I don't really use my things that I went to school, you know what I'm saying, for my bachelor's or for my master's degree with. I don't really use those in my career that I'm in now. And as much money as I spent on those, I could be up like a lot, but I got to pay back student loans, and you know what I'm saying? It's ridiculous. And if you have to have an education to work and survive in this economy, if you ask me, there should always be some type of incentive for people to go to school. You know what I'm saying? What's good with it, Cassie? Shout out to Cassie. Make sure y'all show Cassie some love for standing on business for 22 months. Definitely appreciate it. She been actually standing on business for longer than that, but it says 22 months on YouTube, so we'll give it 22 months.
I'm standing on business. I'm standing on business. I'm standing on business.
Shout out to Adrian. Adrian said, "Oop, Rob got a degree. He boule." You know, you're right. You know, people say that, right? People will say that. You know what I mean? And you either are boule or your degree don't matter, despite the fact that you earned it. You know what I'm saying? You know how that go. You know what I'm saying? We hope you feel better, Catsy. We're glad to see you in here today. Michael says the argument that made against forgiving student loans is why should other people pay for my education? Meanwhile, we are paying for this and other people's rights to have free state education, a free military, and they got their own military, free weapons, and they got their own weapons. You know what I'm saying? Like all kinds of stuff. All kinds of stuff. You know what I'm saying? It doesn't make any sense. Let me shut up, man. Regardless of if it makes sense or not, how many people like what they hear about Tim WALZ? You guys liking him yet? Are you sold on him? The state also allowed all residents to enroll in its publicly subsidized health insurance program. Sheesh. They did the same stupid stuff that California did. Minnesota Care, regardless of the immigration status. Roughly 40,000 illegal immigrants living in the state were eligible to enroll at the time the law was enacted last year, according to local news outlet, the Minnesota Reformer. So I'm about to grab this article real quick. Oh yeah, we're gonna look at this. We might have to. This came out. This article in May. This article came out in May of 2023. I'm about to let y'all see this headline. We're going to talk about this. We got to talk about this. What's good with it, Cindy? All right, so yo, if you're watching on the replay and the live chat is here, you'll be able to get the link right there. All right, I'm going to put the link in the Discord too real quick. Hold on. I don't think anybody, I don't think anybody really trying to vote for anything like this. I mean, I hope not. You know what I'm saying? I don't understand how this could benefit anybody. So the link is in the Discord for all the Discord people. All right. If you're not part of the Discord, hit the Discord link that's pinned in the chat. Look at this. Look at this. Minnesota to allow all undocumented residents to enroll in Minnesota Care. How many people support this kind of policy? Why would Kamala Harris pick this dude over the astronaut dude? At least the astronaut dude wanted to do something about the immigration situation. This dude, this is the license, this is the driver's license for all guy. This is the driver's license for all guy. Now they'll sit there and say that it's mis or disinformation. Yeah. Shout out to Michael R. Michael R said that's why he wasn't picked. Seems like it. Definitely seems like it. If you guys agree with Michael R, give me a thumbs up. If y'all disagree, give me a thumbs down. It definitely seems like it. Oh yeah, we keeping this out. We're gonna do a whole stream about that. Yeah, we're going to definitely do a whole stream about that. You know what I'm saying? Because that's ridiculous. He got a bad immigration record. Now, you know, people that's progressives and, you know what I'm saying, people that's liberals and all of that, they're going to like that immigration record. But that's not a good immigration record, especially dealing with what we already got going on. That don't help anything. Earlier in 2023, WALZ signed into law a bill that would allow all residents to apply for a driver's license, including up to 81,000 people without a permanent legal status. Okay? Let me see. Yeah, we're gonna look at all this. How many of you all want like a live stream that's specifically about this nonsense in Minnesota? We got to talk about this. We got to talk about this. Because they're not gonna, I guarantee you when they go out on the campaign trail, this is not the stuff that Kamala Harris and this dude are really gonna be advertising. We're gonna do it on the undocumented bros. We're gonna definitely do it on the undocumented bros. Yeah, facts. Shout out to John. John says that's wild. 40K illegals set to get health care, and there's probably citizens that have none. Yeah, that's matter of fact, that's what the name of the video, that's what the name of the live stream should be. 40K illegals in health care. 40K illegals in Minnesota got health care. Guess what citizens got? What you think? Y'all like that title? 40K illegals got a full insurance plan with no copay. Guess what the citizens got? Medical bills. You know what I'm saying? All of the state bills are commonplace in that most Democrat-led states have passed these measures, while more progressive states, such as California and New York, have gone further. Now, what they're trying to make progress towards what? WALZ is a former 6-term congressman who served from 2007 to 2019 before becoming the governor. He represented a large, primarily rural area of southern Minnesota along the Iowa border. Okay. WALZ served in the Army National Guard for 24 years and trained in heavy artillery. He retired and pursued teaching social studies at a local school before pursuing politics. Republicans were quick to ding WALZ over his immigration record and posted statements online within hours. Tim WALZ, driver's license for illegals, weak, failed, dangerously liberal, just like Kamala. The Republican National Committee research arm posted Tuesday on X. Now, we got to get a research arm, and we got to have accounts that just post these kind of receipts all the time. We got to do this. This is the kind of organization and stuff that I'm talking about that we got to do. You know what I'm saying?
It's done. A packed room at the St. Paul Armory erupted after the governor's signature made driver's license for all the law of the land.
I mean, they sitting there cheering this on. Like, man, what about your insurance costs? What about the fact that, like, it requires documents to get a driver's license. You have to have your birth certificate and social security card. How do you make an undocumented license? Somebody in the comment section explain that to me. Yeah, we talked about the stolen valor yesterday. Shout out to Michael R. If you guys haven't watched that live stream yesterday, the replay from yesterday, watch that live stream from yesterday. We talked about the stolen valor yesterday.
It's done. A packed room at the St. Paul Armory erupted after the governor's signature made driver's license for all the law of the land.
That's ridiculous. And they're I want you guys to look at these people cheering for this. What are you cheering for? You're cheering that you're not even going to be able to afford Geico in a couple years? 1-800-GENERAL now going to cost like $1,000 a month? Seriously? Tim WALZ wants to invest in a ladder factory to help illegals scale the border wall. The Trump War Room account posted on X, sharing a clip from WALZ's interview on CNN. WALZ supports sanctuary cities, driver's license for illegals, free college for illegals, free healthcare for illegals, and so much more. Just like Kamala, former GOP presidential candidate Nikki Haley called the Harris-Walz ticket a win for open borders, socialism, and Iran. Okay.
And I think seeing a plan that's out there, talking about it with folks, knowing that he's not going to do anything. He talks about this wall. I always say, let me know how high it is. If it's 25 feet, then I'll invest in the 30-foot ladder factory. That's not how you stop this.
You see that? Look at this. Representative Brian Mast suggested Walz would forgive immigration offenses of illegal immigrants who had been released from the border into the United States. Kamala Harris doesn't believe an illegal alien is illegal. Tim WALZ gave illegal aliens driver's license as governor of Minnesota, Mast said in a post to X. The worst border czar in U.S. history found her perfect partner. I mean, it kind of sounds like it. I mean, she even turned down the other guy. You know what I'm saying? She even turned down the other guy. Shout out to Brooklyn Queen. Hold on, we gotta give her the apocalypse. Hold on, real quick.
I am the rocks of the eternal shore. Crash against me and be broken.
How do you think that we fund this organization, huh? We're not exactly the March of Dimes.
Cash rules everything around me. Queen, get the money. Dollar, dollar bill, yo.
Shout out to Brooklyn Queen. Brooklyn Queen said, I ain't scared of no apocalypse. I ain't scared of no ghosts. And she said hi to John. Oh, man, that's hilarious. Man, this is ridiculous, man. She went. Now, check this out. They claim that she, they claim that she's like the most liberal politician, right? Based on her voting record. It's the stuff that she supported. She went and found a person that that quote unquote looks like a conservative that could possibly be more liberal than her or just as liberal than her. You know what I'm saying? I think that like I said, this guy here, he just made this ticket even worse. I don't know how they have any support. Who's supporting these people? I think that she would have actually got more support if she had got the astronaut guy. Because at least he wasn't about to really all about the open borders all like that. Shout out to Dawn. Make sure y'all show Dawn some love. Throw some flames, some radiation emoji, and some ducks in the chat for Dawn for fun.
How do you think that we fund this organization, huh? We're not exactly the March of Dimes.
Get the money, y'all. There's poor people around. I'm rich, bitch.
Definitely appreciate it, Dawn. Definitely appreciate it. Shout out to Cassie. Cassie said Ilhan Omar is more liberal. Yeah, I'm sure, but she ain't really. Well, I guess she kind of could be, but like not really though. She's not really a threat because she ain't running. You know what I'm saying? Let me see. Hold on, let me get this up off of here real quick. All right, so now here it says Kamala Harris has picked a vice presidential candidate with a record of supporting immigration as both a member of Congress and a governor. Okay. Tim WALZ joins Harris' campaign at a time when Republicans appear to be focused on one key issue, the U.S.-Mexico border and Harris' record on immigration, with Donald Trump and his running mate, J.D. Vance, repeatedly calling out the so-called border czar. Now, I don't know why they keep saying so-called border czar. I remember when they kept when like this all started during the beginning of the administration, and they were calling Kamala Harris the border czar. And now they turn around and act like she was never the border czar, despite the fact that the internet is forever and we could find documents to support this all day long. Yeah, that's true. That's a good point. Shout out to Michael R. Michael R said, plus Senator Mark Kelly's wife was targeted in an assassination attack that left her brain damaged, offsetting Trump's near martyr status. Yeah, I agree. Definitely something that they could try to leverage. You know what I'm saying? You know, these people are they don't care about anything. They'll leverage whatever they can. You know what I'm saying? As the Minnesota governor ran for re-election in 2022, he said immigration was part of his state's economy and culture. Walk down the streets of Washington, Wilmar, Mankato, or St. Paul, and you will see the fabric of our life. WALZ told the Sahan Journal. We're gonna have to take a look at this Sahan Journal. So we're gonna have to go. Oh wow, top candidate, Minnesota governor. Okay, I want to show y'all this headline real quick because this is interesting. This dude has always been like this. This dude has always been like this. Look at this. Hold on real quick. If y'all haven't hit that like button yet, please take a moment, hit that like button. Also, if you guys haven't subscribed to the channel, take a moment, subscribe to the channel, hit that bell icon. Yeah, we're gonna have a good little stream about the history of Michigan. You said Bakari Seller said that that's misinformation. Look at this right here. This is an interview with him. Top candidates for Minnesota governor disagree on the future of immigrants in Minnesota. I bet you them people in Minnesota wish they had chose somebody else. Just like the people in Chicago wish they had chose somebody other than Brandon Johnson. You know what I've noticed? I noticed a pattern in the United States. In the United States, people pick politicians the same way that they pick marriage partners, which is one of the reasons why marriages don't last very long. Would you guys agree? If you guys agree, give me a thumbs up. If y'all disagree, give me a thumbs down. Shout out to my man, John. Make sure y'all show John some love. Throw some flames, some radiation emoji, and some ducks in the chat from my man, John.
How do you think that we fund this organization, huh? We're not exactly the March of Dimes.
This is the hardest record out.
Silence. Silence. I ain't got no money, pa.
John said, like DMX said, I'm right here. We ain't going anywhere. We right here. That song was hard. That beat for that song was dope. Shout out to my man, AB Promotions. Make sure y'all show AB some love. Throw some flames, some radiation emoji, and some ducks in the chat for my man, AB, funding the organization.
How do you think that we fund this organization, huh? We're not exactly the March of Dimes.
Cash rules everything around me. Green, get the money. Dollar, dollar bill, yo.
Get the money, y'all. There's poor people around.
I'm rich, biatch.
Shout out to AB. AB said, I just slammed the spade or the domino on the table. What you got? What you got? Make sure y'all show them some love. Throw some flames, some radiation emoji in the chat for John Guillory and AB Promotions. Definitely appreciate y'all. All right. So yeah. So this dude has a long history of this, and we just racking up the receipts, and we're gonna hit him up. We're gonna hit him up tomorrow sometime. We're gonna hit him up tomorrow sometime. Let's see. We're gonna go back to this though real quick. Let's see. Let me see. Yeah, man, this is wild. Now we got to ask the question: who did Kamala Harris get this vice president for? Who did she get this candidate for? Who was she trying to satisfy with this candidate? Is this the candidate that them people on the Zoom calls paid for? Who asked for this candidate? You know what I'm saying? That's my question. Let me know what you guys think. So let me see what else we got. So now here says there are about 500,000 foreign-born residents in Minnesota, making up about 8.4% of the state's population per American Immigration Council data, with many working in manufacturing, STEM, or as entrepreneurs. An assessment for the Minnesota state government described migrants as a vital part of the state's economy and overall growth. That's interesting. What do you guys think about that? The government said that. WALZ may appeal to voters in regions where immigration is highly salient and a growing concern for residents, according to one expert. Democrats are likely to do well in Minnesota regardless. They are clearly hoping that the addition of WALZ could sway at least some in the independent or wavering Democratic places. Professor William Hertz, co-director at the Center for Geopolitics at Cambridge University, told Newsweek. Okay. In early 2023, WALZ expanded driver's license to all residents in Minnesota, regardless of their immigration status. So now let me ask you guys this question: does that make the does that make the road more safe or less safe? Shout out to Lavanya. What's good with it, Lavanya? Does that make the road more safe or less safe? It was estimated that around 8,100 undocumented migrants would benefit from the bill, which allowed them to apply for a state-issued ID card. So now, how is it that it requires undocumented people who are already undocumented to have less information and less requirements to apply than is required by the citizens? The citizens got to have a driver's license. You know what I'm saying? The citizens got to have an ID. You know what I'm saying? A driver's license, social security card. They don't even have to have no documents and they're allowed to pay. Shout out to Brooklyn Queen. Make sure y'all show Brooklyn Queen some love. Throw some flames, some radiation emoji, and some ducks in the chat for Brooklyn Queen being a villain.
I am the rocks of the eternal shore. Crash against me and be broken. Ancient spirits of evil, transform this decayed form to Mum-Ra, the ever-living.
Shout out to Brooklyn Queen. Definitely appreciate it. Y'all know what to do. Make sure y'all show her some love. She says, who you gonna scrimmage like you the champion? You might win some, but you just lost one. Lauren Hill. That sounds like somebody taking some shots. That sounds like shots. So now here it says, but it's a stance that could come back to haunt WALZ as he positions himself as a moderate. Now, how moderate is he? I don't know, man. I don't know how moderate you can say he is. How moderate is he? I don't know if he's really moderate. If we can really honestly sit there and call him a moderate. I don't think that we can honestly sit there and call him a moderate at all. He seems he seems extremely liberal on immigration policies. Would you guys agree? Yeah. If you guys agree with Catsy, throw some flames in the chat. She says he's not. I would agree. He's not. Why would Kamala Harris pick him? Why would I
can't eat. I'm broke, nigga. I'm broke. Again.
You ain't black.
How do you think that we fund this organization, huh? We're not exactly the March of Dimes.
Shout out to AB Promotions. Make sure y'all show AB Promotions some love. Throw some flames, some radiation emoji, and some ducks in the chat. AB Promotion says, I just threw out the little joker. The little joker. Shout out to Michael R. Michael R makes a great point. If you guys agree with Michael R, give me a thumbs up. If y'all disagree, give me a thumbs down. Michael R says, I'm sure his extreme liberalism is moderated by his conservative views on cutting the check. Facts. If you guys agree with Michael R, give Michael R some flames. So now here it says, polls have shown the policy of expanding licenses to undocumented migrants is unpopular, with less than half of the voters in the deep blue state in favor when a similar law was enacted in 2019. Minnesota as a sanctuary state. WALZ faced accusations of wanting to turn Minnesota into California by supporting efforts to give Minnesota so-called sanctuary state status for illegal immigrants. All right. I don't know. These things are not these things are not going to help anybody. Right? These things are not going to help anybody. My position on Minnesota becoming a sanctuary state boils down to who has the responsibility for enforcing the immigration laws. WALZ told CBS in 2018, explaining his support. So now my thing is, if he doesn't know what's supposed to be done, why would you support or make a statement on any of this until you know the information and then come back and actually say what's supposed to be done? Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, I don't know. I don't think we can say that he was moving the right way. Jeff Johnson, the GOP candidate for governor at the time, lambasted Wall over his record on illegal immigration during the gubernatorial race in 2018. A campaign ad released in October of that year said, "This election is all about vision. One candidate sees Minnesota, where we can all lose our health insurance, forced on to one government plan, where we become a sanctuary state for illegal immigrants and where we all pay higher taxes. He wants us to be California." All right, so this is not the first. The Trump and the Vance team, they're not the first people to call him out on this stuff. Okay? As you guys can see here, the Trump and the Vance team, they're not the first to call him out on this stuff. Okay? Very interesting. The letter said, GOP candidates, GOP congressional delegates from Michigan also sent a letter to WALZ in February of this year, laying out their concerns around plans to become a sanctuary state. The letter said the sanctuary city-state experiment has proven to be an utter failure. These states and municipalities have become overrun with illegal immigrants and have used public schools, recreation centers, and parks to shelter these individuals. Now, let's take a poll on this. Is that a true statement? This experiment is also costly and dangerous. Sanctuary status costs taxpayers billions of dollars. Minnesota is already one of the highest tax states in the nation. We advise you against increasing the economic stress of the citizenry by gifting their hard-earned tax dollars to illegal immigrants. Now, let me ask you guys this question. How many people agree with that stance? Is that a stance that you can agree with? Who agrees with that stance? So now here it says Minnesota is not a sanctuary state, though two counties, Hennepin and Ramsey, are sanctuary communities. Now, Hennepin, is that the county where Derek Chauvin deleted George Floyd in Hennepin County? Is that where that situation took place? Somebody let me know. I can't remember. Legislation does not protect the undocumented who are arrested and charged with serious violent crimes, although it does protect someone who is undocumented if they are pulled over for a minor traffic offense from being deported. They're always going to get pulled over because how are they going to get car insurance? Who is a car insurance? Now, listen, check this out. This is what I'm saying. Anybody want to start a business? Let's start a business. Let's start a business that specializes in insuring vehicle insurance for illegal immigrants and petition the government for a subsidy to help with paying for it, since you know they ain't gonna pay for it, because there's no business out there that satisfies that need, to my understanding. Has anybody heard of a business like that? We need to start a business, and we can take over that industry. If these people are going to go in that direction, where's the need at? Where's the niche at? If they're going to be letting illegal immigrants be all on the street like that, we need to set up shop in liberal cities, contract with the government, and get payment for insurance of illegal migrants and make money off of it. Somebody's going to start that business. I don't know if that business exists yet, but somebody will start that business at some point. And just, you know what I'm saying? It could have been us. It's out there. It's in the ether. It's there. You know what I'm saying? Shout out to Catsy. And I agree, right? But here go the thing, though. You know what I'm saying? We just snitch on them. You know what I'm saying? Like, we have it where we got to, you know what I'm saying? Like, in order to be a part of the program, you got to have a GPS device in your car. You got to wear a GPS device at all times when you drive in. You know what I'm saying? You got to wear the house arrest anklet. And you know what I'm saying? It's linked to your car. Like we gonna have them on some communist China type time. Since they want to live in a liberal city, then they shouldn't be opposed to that type of monitoring. And we're gonna definitely, you know what I'm saying, monitor them like that. We got to make sure we getting our money, because paying them insurance premiums or paying the payout on indemnity, that's a lot of money. You're not gonna run back to the border after you cause a car accident and think you're not gonna pay the bill around here. We're gonna get you. You know what I'm saying? Shout out to Caldona. Caldona said an illegal hit and ran me down earlier this year. Had to get a new ride and everything. Now, here goes my question. Yeah, and we're gonna call ICE on them. If you're not compliant with the program, we turning you over. Now, whatever the feds are able to do versus what they're not able to do, that's on them. But if you ain't, you know what I'm saying, you ain't you know, up to speed with what you're supposed to be doing, or you out here making us have to pay all these premiums, you going, all your information going right to ICE. Now, here goes my question, Caldona. How did they handle that? How did your insurance company handle that? Did they reimburse anything? Did they pay for anything? Did they give uninsured motorists? Did the illegal have insurance? How did that work? What happened? Give us the deets. Give us the deets. So now here it says, on an appearance on MSNBC's Morning Joe last month, WALZ described Trump and Vance as weird in one of the defining moments of the 2024 presidential campaign, which also led to WALZ's star to rise within the Democratic Party. Okay. For his part, Vance has supported plans to enforce mass deportations of illegal immigrants in the U.S., despite it being unclear how such a program will be achieved. WALZ opposes Trump's flagship mass deportation policy. We have to deport people. We have to deport people who broke our laws and came in here. I think we start with the violent criminals. Vance told Fox News. I mean, to me, that doesn't sound bad. It just sounds like common sense. Would you guys agree? Oh. Shout out to John. Make sure y'all show John some love. Throw some flames, some radiation emoji, and some ducks in the chat from a man, John Guillory, funding the organization.
How do you think that we fund this organization, huh? We're not exactly the March of Dimes.
Cash rules everything around me. Green, get the money. Dollar bill, yo.
Definitely appreciate it, bro. John Guillory said, big joker, game over. Flip, game over. Flip, game over. Flip, do. Do. So now here it says conservative influencers and pundits. All right, they're not even quoting the news. They quoted the news up here, but this is what I'm saying about having influence. Conservative influencers and pundits have claimed WALZ wants to invest in a ladder factory to help migrants climb Trump's border wall. All right. That line of attack stems from an appearance WALZ recently made on CNN talking about Trump's flagship border policy. WALZ said, you know, he talks about this wall, right? I always say, let me know how high it is. If it's 25 feet, then I'll invest in the 30-foot ladder factory. This dude's last name is WALZ, and he's against WALZ. I just want y'all to let that sink in for a minute. This dude's last name is WALZ, and he's against WALZ. How your last name gonna be WALZ and you against WALZ? Okay. Let me see what else they got up here. I don't think we need to worry about keeping families, the migrant families together. We can't even keep, you know what I'm saying? We can't even keep families that we got up here together. You know what I'm saying? Let me see what else we got. So what we'll do is we'll scale this back. We'll scale this back. Let's see something. We'll do a separate little stream on this tomorrow. Let me see. I got that thing from Adrian. We're gonna talk about that. Boom. Poll. All right, yeah. All right, so yeah, so next, and real quick, shout out to y'all. If y'all haven't hit the like button yet, please take a moment, hit that like button. Also, if you guys haven't hit the bell, please take a moment, hit the bell, and also share the stream to your social media. Now, let me ask you guys this question. What is you guys' thoughts? What are you guys' thoughts on Kamala Harris not really having any press engagement? What do you all think about that? I think there's I don't know why she's not getting any I don't know why she's not getting any press engagement. I think that the media is like actively ignoring her. Oh, we got some more. Oh man, we got some more. Shout out to AB Promotions. AB Promotions said, I got no more books. You got it, John. I'm broke. I ain't even mad at it. Shout out to my man AB Promotions. This is what AB said.
Silence. Silence. I ain't got no money, pa.
I can't eat. I'm broke, nigga. I'm broke.
You got knocked the fuck out, man. The payback's a mother.
Oh man, shout out to John, man, or shout out to AB. Make sure y'all show AB some love. Those are flames, some radiation emojis, some ducks in the chat for AB.
How do you think that we fund this organization, huh? We're not exactly the March of Dimes.
I am not mad at it, bro. I am not mad at it. All right. So yeah, shout out to Patrick. Patrick says this is not democracy. I would tend to agree. Shout out to Win Lose a Rug. Win Lose a Rug said, I asked myself this earlier. Seems like her campaign team is keeping her hidden. My question is, what else could she possibly be doing? Right. Right. Shout out to Catsy. Catsy says her advisors are smart. Keep her away from pressers as long as the polls have her ahead. The best to be thought a fool than open your mouth and remove all doubt. Yeah. Facts. Big facts. You know what I'm saying? So we might look at this if we get time. You know what I'm saying? I've been trying to like keep as much of this stuff covered as I can. I guess Trump just made some statements from Mar-a-Lago. Trump to hold presser as he rips Harris for not taking media questions. Now, you guys know when we watched JD Vance, when he went in yesterday, he was going in on the same particular talking point, saying that the Kamala Harris is not taking media questions. She's not taking media questions. Okay. Former President Trump will hold a news conference at his Mar-a-Lago estate Thursday, which he's done. The video is out there. If you guys want a reaction to it, let me know in the chat. If you guys are watching on the replay and you're interested in a reaction to the Mar-a-Lago video, make sure you note that in the chat. All right. He and his campaign are trying to pressure Vice President Harris into taking questions from the media. Now, let me ask you guys this question. What's the goal behind this strategy here? What's the end game? What's the end goal? Shout out to the specialist. The specialist says she has no money, or she has no answers. That's why. I would agree. Shout out to John. John says, well, Trump said he was cool with 3 debates, but I think Kamala will try to avoid that like the plague. Yeah, I've heard these talking points of people saying that, you know, Trump doesn't want to debate with her because she's a prosecutor and, you know, all of this stuff. And me personally, I just, you know what I'm saying? I don't know why. I mean, people act like they forgot. Kamala Harris didn't really do like a superstar job when she was in the debate before. So I don't know where they think that she got all this extra juice from. But clearly they think she got some juice. They think that she got some juice. You know what I'm saying? So now here it says Trump said he would do a general news conference Thursday at 2 p.m. EDT, and he attacked Harris for the lack of interviews she's done since being elevated to the top of the Democrat ticket following President Biden's decision not to seek re-election. Now, did he make that decision or did somebody make that decision for him? I would, you know, it's funny that you say that. Shout out to Win, Lose, or Rug. It's funny that you say that because I was thinking it. Win, Lose, or Rug said, what if she's going down the Joe Biden route, getting old and dumb? Definitely a possibility. Shout out to the specialist. The specialist says, I know Trump is going to press her on her blackness. And how many people think that when Trump does press her on her blackness, that's when the moderators will step in? The moderators will step in and save her. Which is wild that Trump will be pressing somebody like that's just we live in the twilight zone. We live in the twilight zone. Shout out to DC Precise. DC Precise says getting dumb. She's been stuck on stupid for a while now. If you guys agree with DC Precise, throw some flames in the chat. Shout out to Cassie. Cassie said Trump made some effed up comments yesterday. If I read correctly, he alluded to the fact that because she is a woman, she is stupid. Oh, wow. I didn't know about that. I didn't know about that. You can't do that. I'm not surprised that Trump would do something like that. You know what I'm saying? I'm not surprised that he would say something like that. That's kind of wild. You know what I'm saying? Trump, you know what I'm saying? That's what he do. Like bruh, good luck. You know what I'm saying? Kamala refuses to do interviews because her team realizes that she is unable to answer questions, much like Biden was not able to answer questions, but for different reasons. Trump posted on Truth Social. He is just plain shot, and she is just plain incompetent. Trump claimed Harris' policies would lead to a 1929-style Great Depression. He previously claimed the market would crash if Biden won in 2020. Something like that did not happen. Are we sure something like that did not happen? Didn't we have some pretty bad market crashes? The former president's announcement comes as his campaign has sought to turn Harris's lack of media interviews into an issue as she surges in the polls and draws huge crowds on the campaign trail. Where is she surging in the polls at, and where is she drawing a huge crowd of people that's doing something other than booing her at? Where's all this happening and going down at? Also, make sure that you guys do not move a muscle. Stick around to the end of the stream. Wait for the music to play. It'll take you into the next scheduled stream, and we will be doing that for a little bit. All right. Hit that like when you get into the next stream. Share it. Get that out the way. If you're not subscribed to the channel, hit the bell. Also, make sure you hit the bell for the premiere window for the next one. Harris, look at this. Harris has not taken questions from reporters on the campaign trail on the record since Biden announced July 21st that he would not seek re-election, and she took over the top of the Democratic ticket. Now, here goes my question. That's kind of odd, isn't it? Shout out to Cameron Jones. What's good with it, bro? That's kind of odd, isn't it? That's really weird. So I've heard people make the critique, well, people need to go and talk to her, right? It seems like the only people that she goes and talks to are people who are consistent with their civil disobedience, right? It seems like that's the only people that she talks to. Because she don't talk to the media either. So now if she don't talk to the media and the only people that she talked to is disgruntled Palestinians, how are we ever supposed to have a conversation with her? Because just for the record, I'm not opposed to listening to what she has to say. Why are we getting yelled at when she hasn't said anything? How can you listen to somebody? How can you listen to what somebody has to say if they haven't said anything? How does that work exactly? Chronologically, how does that work? Y'all need to listen to her. Y'all need to listen to her. Okay, like when she says something, we will, right? How many people, when she says something, will listen? I'll listen. I might not agree, but I'll listen. At least analyze it, talk about it. We'll do a stream about it or make a video about it. Shout out to Sybil. But how can you listen to something when nothing has been said? How does that work exactly? This is that kind of stupid stuff like what came first? You know what I'm saying? A chicken or the egg? If a tree fell in the woods and wasn't nobody there and couldn't nobody hear it, did the tree actually fall? Like this, like why are we like start talking? Like I'm not about to do no type of philosophical breakdown and analysis of what like the chronological order of I need to be listening at all times, right? But she's not saying anything. But if I criticize her, then I'm not listening. Like I'm not doing any of that abstract insanity. You can't listen to someone who isn't making any noise. True or false? Here's the evidence. Kamala Harris is not making any noise. If Kamala Harris isn't making any noise, she's not generating anything for us to listen to. I.e., why we're voicing complaints. Right? So now here it says the vice president has spoken off the record with reporters traveling with her, and she responded to one question while standing next to Biden as Americans who were imprisoned in Russia returned home last week. Trump did a high-profile on-stage interview last week at the National Association of Black Journalists Convention. It was a tense interview with the journalists from ABC News, Semaphore, and Fox News, where Trump took tough questions and sparked controversy with attacks on Harris' Black and Indian heritage. He didn't attack her Indian heritage. That's not true. He attacked her Black alleged heritage. He didn't attack her Indian heritage. What are they talking about? Her Indian heritage has not been under attack at all. What has anybody ever said against Kamala Harris's Indian heritage? Who's attacked her Indian heritage and on what basis? Why would anyone attack her Indian heritage when literally everybody's saying she's an Indian woman? Why? That doesn't even make any sense. Shout out to Cindy. Cindy says, so someone did a side-by-side of her at different state rallies, and she said exactly the same thing in the exact same attitude. Like, seriously, you can't say anything on your own. Yeah, facts. Yeah, the media just be lying. What is if there was, who's doubted her Indian ancestry? Who said anything negative about her Indian ancestry? The only person that has ever attacked Kamala Harris's Indian heritage is Kamala Harris by downplaying her Indian heritage and saying that she's somehow black. She's the only person that's attacked her Indian heritage. Show me statements, videos, clips, comments of anyone attacking her Indian heritage. The only person who has attacked Kamala Harris's Indian heritage is Kamala Harris. No one's attacked her black heritage. We've attacked her integrity and asked for proof. Attacking someone for their black heritage is saying, oh, you're XYZ because you're black. Your IQ is XYZ because you're black. Nobody did that with her. We're saying, well, show us some evidence because it doesn't sound or look right. It's extremely awkward. You look like your silhouette of blackness that you have gotten a whole bunch of people to try to police. It's as unsteady as a baby with 2 broken legs trying to walk. Like a toddler running through the living room on broken legs. That's how your image is holding up. Can we see some proof of some things and some claims that you've made? That's not an attack. That's, can we see proof? The same things. Shout out to Win, Lose, or Rug. Exactly. The same things that are available and shown on the Indian side. Can we see those things for the black side? That's what we've been asking. I don't think that that's unfair. You know what I'm saying? I don't think that that's unfair. Trump has done regular interviews, though typically with friendly outlets. Really? Like, he's done typical interview. He's done regular interviews, typically with friendly outlets. He did a debate with the CNN moderator, like Dana Vance was the moderator. You know what I'm saying? And then he went on the black interview, the black professional journalism thing. What are they talking about? He spoke this week with Fox and Friends on Fox News and right-wing internet streamer Aiden Ross. Trump's running mate, Senator J.D. Vance, has made Harris's lack of media engagement a particular point of focus as he's followed her around battleground states this week. Yeah, I mean, I ain't trying to be funny, but literally, like, J.D. Vance is he on her head. Yeah, and shout out to you talking about the Uncle Luke interview. How many of you guys thought that was appropriate? You know, she has yet to talk to anybody in Bollywood. She's yet to talk to anybody in Bollywood. And that's what we're going to be doing next, is looking at that Aiden Ross live stream. We probably won't be able to finish it based on, you know, if you guys want to finish it or not. We you know what I'm saying? We'll probably, you know, go from there. But that's what we're about to be looking at next. Shout out to Black Women Stand Up. Okay. Yeah, I mean, that was ridiculous. I don't understand what did Kamala Harris have to run to Luke and tell him about politically? Like, I don't understand that. Like, you ran to Luke, you found him, you sat down, and then, I mean, didn't really say too much. Vance has posted daily updates on social media about how long Harris has been gone without taking questions. And Wednesday, he seized on the issue when their planes were on a tarmac in Wisconsin at the same time. Hopefully, it's going to be my plane in a few months, Vance told reporters, referring to Air Force Two. I thought you guys may get lonely because the VP doesn't answer questions from reporters. I'm not, you know, it is what it is. What do you guys think about all this? I think this stuff is interesting. I'm going to say the same thing that I always say. I think this stuff is interesting. I think this stuff is extremely interesting. So now we know Trump has committed to a debate a debate between him and Kamala Harris, and I'm sure it's gonna be ripe with viral moments. It's gonna be ripe with insanity. It's gonna be ripe with conflict. It's gonna be great. It's gonna be a good time. Everybody will complain about it. Everybody will watch it a million times. It'll be great. It'll be great. Shout out to DC Precise. DC Precise says, come on, y'all. You know, wearing curtains is black culture. Now, if somebody looked at Roland Martin, they might actually believe that. If Roland Martin is your only exposure to black people, I could definitely see why someone would make that honest mistake. You know what I'm saying? But if that's not the case, if that's not your, if when I talk to you and ask you, well, how'd you get mixed up about that? What made you think that? If you didn't say you watched Uncensored with Roland Martin, if that's not your answer for that question, I ain't trying to hear nothing else. You fronting. Because don't nobody else wear no muumuus and sheets. You know what I'm saying? Don't nobody else do that. Y'all want this debate live streamed? How y'all think this debate gonna go? What's gonna end up happening? Now, who's supposed to host it? Do y'all know who the people are that's supposed to host it? Who's supposed to host the debate? Y'all want it live stream? Okay, so the live chat people want the debate live streamed. So the comment section people afterwards, y'all got to make sure y'all let me know if y'all want the debate done. Trump recommits to a September 10th debate and lashes out at Harris at news conference. All right. Donald Trump recommitted to debating Vice President Kamala Harris after recently backing out, holding a lengthy news conference Thursday in which he taunted his new rival, boasted of his crowd on January 6, 2021, and lashed out at questions about the enthusiasm her campaign has been generating. Now, here goes my question. What enthusiasm has her campaign been generating? What enthusiasm has her campaign been generating, guys? Because I'm unaware. Oh, yeah, it's about to be it's about to be Live Fest 2024. That stream finna be Live Fest. that stream about to be Live Fest 2024. And shout out to y'all. If you guys haven't smashed that like button yet, please take a moment, smash that like button. Also, if you guys have not hit that bell, please take a moment, hit that bell, and share the stream to your social media. We got 47 people watching and we got 80 likes. All we need is 40 more likes to get to 120. We should be able to easily do that before we get done with over 40 people in here. If you haven't shared the stream, please take a moment, share the stream. If you're not part of the Discord, hit the Discord. And if you haven't subscribed, go ahead and subscribe. Hit that bell icon twice. So now here it says, as the Republican presidential nominee addressed reporters at his Palm Beach, Florida estate, ABC announced that Trump and Harris, the Democratic nominee, have agreed to a September 10th debate, setting up a widely anticipated face-off in an already unparalleled election. This is about to be great for ratings. You know what they say on TV. Y'all remember Mojo from X-Men? This is about to be great for ratings. You know what I'm saying? This is about to be great for ratings. Trump said he had proposed 3 debates with 3 television networks in September. Trump again wrongly insisted there had been a peaceful transfer of power in 2021 and renewed attacks on Republican rivals like Georgia Governor Brian Kemp, whom Trump has harshly criticized since Kemp refused to go along with his false theories of election fraud. In taking questions from reporters for more than an hour, Trump tried to draw a contrast with Harris, who has not held a news conference since President Joe Biden's withdrawal from the race. So again, like it's amazing how they keep saying like this stuff is misinformation, and then they turn around and go ahead and quote what they said. And again, if you ask me, there's something that's truly weird if you haven't taken any interviews. Like, it's kind of weird. Shout out to Patrick. Patrick says, Rob, I'm telling you, man, they about to do some 2020 magic, claiming she's surging in the polls and drawing huge crowds. If you guys agree with Patrick, give me a thumbs up. If y'all disagree, give me a thumbs down. Magic. Voila. Magic. Voila. Magic. So let's see what else they say. Another key moment in the election to set. I don't think we need to read any more of this. You know what I'm saying? Now, oh, this is interesting, and people will love this. Trump acknowledges weakness with black women. Trump recognized some changing patterns with his new opponent, acknowledging he may not be as popular with black women, one of Democrats' key voting blocs. He expressed a lot of confidence in his support from black men. Now, that's interesting. What do you guys think about that? What do you guys think about that? It could be affected somewhat with black females, but we're really doing well, he said. And I think ultimately they'll like me better because I'm going to give them security, safety, and jobs. I'm going to give them a good economy. Trump campaign officials told reporters ahead of the news conference that they believe Harris is currently enjoying a honeymoon period. Now, I think that that's actually true. And also, she's not doing a lot of things normal. Like, she's not having any media exposure. You know what I'm saying? And shout out to my man Kirk. Kirk said 2020 magic in the air. Right. Shout out to Cindy. Cindy said they actually did that magic in her DA office run. The other guy was winning. They woke up and she won through white in ballots. You know what I'm saying? So again, this is interesting. This is very interesting. And like I said, we'll look at this entire Mar-a-Lago thing tomorrow. Now, what we're about to look at next, is, let me see, hold on. Just weird nonsense. Weird nonsense. We're gonna look at a couple videos here. Pay attention to the polls. You know, nothing major. Try to figure out some of this math here. Okay. Now, again, you got to remember, like, these people didn't even have very good approval ratings. What were these people's approval ratings, guys? Let me know in the comment section.
Welcome back. New polling shows a very tight race between Vice President Kamala Harris and former President Donald Trump. The Marquette University Law School, Harris leads Trump by 6 points.
How many people knew this? If you guys were aware of this, give me a thumbs up. If you were not aware of this, then give me a thumbs down. Remember Kamala Harris's approval ratings were less than Joe Biden's? You guys remember? You guys recall that? Kamala Harris's approval ratings were less than Joe Biden's. Somehow she's winning in the polls. Yeah, she's instantly winning. This is very interesting. This is what I'm saying. Make sure you guys take notes of this.
53 to 47 among likely voters nationwide. That's within the margin of error, but marks a real shift from Marquette's last poll conducted in May, which showed Donald Trump leading President Biden by 2 points. Other polling shows similar movement towards Harris. Joining us now, contributor to the conservative website The Bulwark, Tim Miller. He previously served as communications director for Jeb Bush and a spokesman for the RNC. Tim, good to see you this morning. Let's talk big picture here. We've also had the Cook Political Report move 3 states from lean Republican to toss up, Georgia, Nevada, Arizona. Seems like Harris has momentum, and from what we saw yesterday, Donald Trump doesn't know how to respond. It seems like he might even be panicking.
It seems like Trump is panicking. If you guys agree that Trump is panicking and he said Trump is shaking in his boots, then give me a thumbs up. If you guys disagree and you don't think Trump is winning or shaking in his boots, then give me a thumbs down. And also, you know, when I'm able to do more content and I'm not going to be stacking everything on these channels, make sure that you guys are subscribed to my backup channel for this type of topic in particular. Make sure that you're subscribed to the Magatron channel. How many people in here are subscribed to the Magatron channel? If you're subscribed, give me a thumbs up. If you're not subscribed, give me a thumbs down. And if we get any thumbs down, if the moderators could put the Magatron link in the chat, that would be great.
He definitely looks like he's panicking. He definitely thinks he's losing. Before the break, you were talking about the debates and how now Donald Trump wants 3. I mean, I think it's a pretty good rule of thumb that a candidate that wants more debates is the candidate that thinks they're losing. If Donald Trump thought he was winning, he wouldn't debate. And we know that for sure because he refused to debate in the primary because he was winning the whole time. So I think the Trump campaign thinks they're losing. I think that his behavior yesterday during that weird press conference showed it. And, but I also still think it's a very close race. That Marquette poll is a bit of an outlier. Let's see how things look. Sometimes it takes a few weeks for big changes in a race to like really sink in with voters and sink in with the polls. We've had so many big changes over the last few weeks. So, I think that maybe, you don't want to get too exuberant if you're in the Harris WALZ team right now, but certainly, the arrow is pointing in the right direction.
Yeah, could not agree more. They've got momentum. They'll have more coming out of their convention, most likely. But this is still a very close race. Let's talk a little bit about the Trump side a little more. They seem to be scrambling for attack lines here. And for what
now, do you guys think that they're scrambling for attack lines? To me, right, it doesn't seem like they're scrambling for attack lines. What it seems like is that they have a pretty focused approach. It seems like they have a pretty focused approach on how they want to go about attempting to put her vulnerabilities on display, and they're using a targeted strategy. Is what it seems like. I don't see any of what they're talking about here. I don't see any of what they're talking about here, but it is what it is.
And to me, and most Republicans I've spoken to said they haven't found anything that seems effective. Isn't the talk about race and crowd size, that's just going to alienate voters? What should they be talking about?
Yeah, there's this group called Blueprint that's kind of a central left.
So, I mean, this guy here who's never run for president, I don't know if he's run for anything ever. Don't know if he's won anything. He's, being an authority on what they quote unquote should be talking about. Well, here's the thing. If Trump shouldn't be talking about race, Kamala should be talking, period. So we got one candidate who they say isn't talking about the right thing, and we're going to ignore the fact that the other candidate just isn't talking at all. If you're actually looking at this in an unbiased fashion, like a lot of these news agencies claim to be, then it would seem obvious to me that both would be a problem, right? Shout out to B1 first. It would seem that both would be a problem, right? But they're not looking at it like that.
Advocacy group that put out a poll. It was an internal poll where they tested what the Harris WALZ vulnerabilities are. And it's the traditional issues. It's like going back to a race from 2000. If the Republicans called the Democratic ticket, a bunch of California liberals. That's the stuff that works related to immigration. I think that some...
Shout out to Yoshimori. Make sure y'all show Yoshimori some love for throwing the Magatron channel link in the chat. If y'all not subscribed to that Magatron channel, hit that link that Yoshimori just pinned in the chat. And we got to make sure we show Yoshimori some love for being a good mod.
Ancient spirits of evil, transform this decayed form to Mumra, the ever-living.
Definitely appreciate it, bro. Definitely appreciate it.
Voters, some of the key swing voters, that's what we're talking about here, a pretty small group. A lot of these voters, maybe if you look at Georgia, for example, which was a red state not too long ago, these are people that voted for Romney, voted for Bush, and then, don't like Trump, and so they switched to Biden. Some of those voters might not like this ticket's policy background on various issues, particularly immigration and crime. That stuff works. The attacks that she's a DEI candidate, the attacks on her race, the attacks on Tim WALZ's military experience, all of this stuff is just backfiring. And the problem is
now here's a question for you guys. They say that all this stuff is backfiring. My question is, where's the consequences of the backfiring? Like, if something backfired, right, then usually there's a consequence. Something didn't work out the way that it should have worked out. Right. So where's the evidence of that? It's real. It's wild how in a lot of cases you see a lot of these really just weird, grandiose comments, and there's no evidence behind any of them, and they just say this stuff with such aggression and authority. Shout out to Carla. What's good with it, Carla? Good to see you.
That Trump likes that kind of attack, right? And I think that it's hard to get a narrow focused attack on more anodyne policy issues when the person carrying your message is Donald Trump, and he can't help himself but go into the more tawdry types of messages that just haven't seemed to work.
So you mentioned Governor WALZ. We haven't talked to you since the vice president named him her running mate. Give us your assessment briefly about his strengths and weaknesses. What do you think he brings to the ticket?
Yeah. It's clear they seem to like each other, and so that's good. Having a good, good mesh, good vibe, and the pairing matters. I think that he can speak. He speaks like a normal person. He speaks like a teacher, right? And that's good. Sometimes a lot of Democratic candidates, maybe speak a little bit too much like the class valedictorian and like to speak in wonky policy terms, and that's not Tim WALZ. I think that's good. I think the main weakness is political and not policy. So this is not a judgment on any of his particular policies in Minnesota, but he had a extremely progressive policy agenda.
That's a good point, Satra. Yeah, that's a good point. Satra says they're stating the polls proves the backfire. Yeah, I would actually. That's actually a great point.
A successful policy agenda is why he was picked, but I don't know. I think that some Democrats think he might be able to help appeal to those moderate voters I was just talking about, the people that maybe voted for Brian Kemp for governor in Georgia, but also for Joe Biden for president. I don't think he is going to really appeal much to them. And I think that if the Republicans were disciplined about an ideological attack, that could be vulnerable to that.
The Harris and WALZ team in the Southwest next couple of days.
All right. So there's that. All right. So there's that. So now, again, they just keep coming with the slight edge over XYZ. And this was from 4 days ago. Apparently, Kamala Harris is just destroying everybody. Oh, this is interesting. Oh, this is real interesting. Oh, I'm about to have a good stream for y'all tomorrow. I'm about to have a good, the good info just keeps coming, man. We about to have a real good stream tomorrow. We about to have a real good stream tomorrow. I'm gonna have to make sure I put the window up before I get out of here tonight.
Vice President Kamala Harris is closing in on the biggest decision of her 2-week-old presidential campaign. Who will be her running mate? That announcement is expected before Tuesday.
Now, pay attention, right? Who is her running mate? What this means is that this video came out before she chose Tim WALZ. Look at the title here. Harris has a slight polling edge over Trump as VP pick announcement looms. See that? See that? Pay attention to the chronological order.
Also tonight, a new CBS poll shows Harris has something President Biden never enjoyed this year, a slight edge, up 1% over Donald Trump nationwide and across battleground states.
Now, what is this? What is this, y'all? What is this?
Tuesday. Also tonight, a new CBS poll shows Harris has something President Biden never enjoyed this year, a slight edge, up 1% over Donald Trump nationwide. And across battleground states, the two candidates are neck and neck. CBS's Natalie Brand is at the White House tonight and leads off that part of our coverage. Natalie?
Good evening, Jerika. And this will be one of the biggest decisions Vice President Kamala Harris makes in her political career, a decision expected as soon as tomorrow.
Now, as far as this being a big decision, right? They said this is the biggest decision in Kamala Harris's political career. All right. Now, if this is the biggest decision in Kamala Harris's political career, let me ask you guys this. What do you all think that she did with this decision? Did she take her time and make a good, optimal decision that's probably going to give her good results and propel her further into her political aspirations? Or did she not pay attention, engage the room at all, and did a horrible move and ended up making a decision that could come back to bite her in the end? Let me know.
Car going in and out of the vice president's residence under the microscope, as today she meets with some of her top running mate contenders. CBS News has confirmed the interviews include Minnesota Governor Tim WALZ, Arizona Senator Mark Kelly, and Pennsylvania Governor Josh Shapiro. Voters from that battleground state believe selecting a moderate could help in November.
I think this will be a close election, so
selecting a moderate. They believe that selecting a moderate would help in November. Now, we got to ask the question, did she end up selecting a moderate? She didn't end up selecting a moderate, did she? So she didn't really pay attention to what it was that allegedly was supposed to help her. She didn't even pay attention to what they said could possibly help her.
impacting even a sliver of independents or maybe undecided, I think that could bring over enough people to make a difference.
New CBS News polling shows Harris has infused new energy into the race, with the percentage of Democrats who say they'll definitely vote rising to its highest point this year. And she's increased support.
So now, again, I got to ask you guys, how did Kamala Harris has that much like just personality power that she brought out all of these people that said that they wouldn't vote? Like now everybody's just going to hop up off the couch and vote for Kamala Harris. Now, again, I don't know. This is why I'm asking. I'm not saying that this is not possible. I'm just asking, where did these sentiments come from? Because they've been hidden for the most part, because nobody's really been saying any of this stuff, right?
The race, with the percentage of Democrats who say they'll definitely vote rising to its highest point this year. And she's increased support among key groups such as Black voters, younger voters, and women. In the poll, she's also leading Trump on the question of cognitive.
Uh-oh, did y'all hear that?
Groups such as Black voters, younger voters, and women. In the poll, she's also leading Trump on the question of cognitive health.
Crazy Kamala. You know, there's about 19 different ways of saying it.
As the former president tries to define his new opponent, stepping up attacks both personally and on policy.
If Harris wins this election, you will quickly have a Kamala economic crash.
The new polling shows Trump still maintains a sizable lead with voters who say they'll be financially better off with him in office, a feeling echoed by supporters at his.
Now, we talked about this in the Discord. The I was eating better under Trump tribe of people, the I was eating better mob under Trump. It's a lot. The I was eating better under Trump cult is deep. It's a lot. It's a lot of people. Look at that. Look at that. Look, and this is proof right here. This literally substantiates that whole conversation that we had in Discord. How many people remember that conversation that we had in Discord over the I was eating better under Trump people? Remember, I was saying I don't even argue with them people. I don't even argue with the I was eating better under Trump people. You're never going to win that argument. Them people that believe that they was eating better under Trump, even if they don't like Trump, they still believe it with 100% conviction. It's not even worth trying to argue with them. This poll literally substantiates that. And everybody knows somebody who will just undoubtedly be like, I don't even like Trump. I don't like Trump. I can't stand him. But I can tell you one thing, though. I was eating better under him. You will never argue. You will never make any progress attempting to argue a person like that down. Yeah, I got to agree. Shout out to Brooklyn Queen. Brooklyn Queen said, plus we know that white women will choose Trump in the ballot booth. Yeah, despite the fact that it was a lot of white women that gave a lot of money to Harris, I think that the majority will probably vote for Trump, though. He had the majority last time. If historical patterns hold up. You know what I'm saying? Shout out to Terrence. Terrence said PPP scams help people eat better. Yeah, now they eating custom made ramen in a prison cell.
Better off with him in office, a feeling echoed by supporters at his Georgia rally this weekend.
I don't vote on personality. I vote for policy. And I vote based upon how it affects my wallet.
Now, the new CBS polling also shows more voters believe Trump's policies would decrease crossings at the southern border as immigration remains a top issue for Republicans. Jerika.
Natalie Brandt at the White House.
So I think it's interesting how they keep saying that immigration remains a top issue. Immigration remains a top issue for Republicans. I don't, you know what I mean? Like, I don't know. What about everybody else? You know what I'm saying? What about everybody else? Shout out to my man, Mike Mellis-John. Appreciate you, bro. Make sure that you guys show Mike Mellis-John some love. Throw some flames, some radiation emoji, and some ducks in the chat for my man, Mike Mellis-John, with the $5 super chat.
How do you think that we fund this organization, huh? We're not exactly the March of Dimes.
Cash rules everything around me. Cream, get the money. Dollar bill, yo.
Get the money, y'all. There's poor people around.
I'm rich, biatch.
Shout out to you, bro. Mike says B1 and still hashtag vote couch 2024. I'm not mad at it. If y'all with Mike, throw them couches in the chat. If y'all with Mike, throw them couches in the chat. Throw them couches in the chat. Let's see.
November will be here before you know it for the presidential election. Vice President Kamala Harris and her running mate, Minnesota Governor Tim WALZ, are currently on the campaign trail, hitting up all the battleground states such as Michigan, Pennsylvania, Georgia, and many more. But is this making a difference? Paris is digging deeper into what the polls are saying now. Paris, what are you discovering?
Well, Sylvia, those polls are fascinating right now.
Now, here goes the thing, right? We keep talking about these polls, but what do you all feel, or what do you all believe is making the polls change whatever direction it is that they're going in? What's causing the poll to change directions? Shout out to Michael R. Michael R says a vote for the couch is a vote to be flooded with millions more anti-black illegals. Yeah, I actually kind of agree with that. If you guys agree with Michael R, give me a thumbs up. If you guys disagree, give me a thumbs down. This is a very challenging situation that takes a lot of thought and a lot of research and a lot of information to come down with the most effective strategy on how to move politically, especially while not having any business or political infrastructure. I think that one thing that people are starting to see now is the importance of having these things in place. And I think people are now starting to see how difficult life is without having them. And I don't know, maybe that'll put pressure on people to strive to start getting them.
Now, they're very different than they looked just a few weeks ago. So November 5th is the presidential election. We know things are going to be relatively quiet here in Illinois because it's a reliably blue state. But the Midwest is going to be where a lot of the action is as candidates crisscross the region to meet people and turn out the vote. So far, the vice president campaign has hit up states like Wisconsin, Michigan, Pennsylvania with more on deck. The vice president got the nomination after President Biden, stepped aside and out of the race. And that blunted a lot of the momentum that former President Trump had coming off the RNC. Now, Trump's running mate, J.D. Vance, has also been in the battleground states carrying the former president's message. Now, new polling shows Harris has swiftly turned this race around against Trump. Here's what the polling looks like nationally. This released Wednesday by the Marquette Law.
Now, here goes my question. And there's nothing wrong with that. And see, that's what's good. Shout out to Mike. Make sure y'all throw some flames and some ducks in the chat for Mike. Mike says, I agree with Mike to a small extent on that. Yeah, me too. Absolutely, bro. Now, here goes my question, right? Kamala Harris hasn't done any interaction with the media. when we saw the campaign rally, one of the campaign rallies took a really negative direction. How? What if these things are real and she actually has turned the polls around like this? What is it that she's done? How has she grabbed people or captivated people to justify making these changes in the pace and momentum of the polling? What event took place that changed things? Let me know.
Law school among registered voters, 52% said they would support the vice president, while 48% say they favored the former president. And breaking it down by state, it's a handful of states that are going to decide this entire election. One that has everyone on their eye is Georgia. And this new poll done by AARP shows that the race is neck and neck. Both of the candidates getting 48% of likely voters, 3% undecided, 1% saying other. Now, our neighbors up to the north.
Now we gotta ask and make sure that you guys leave the comments in the comment section. Who do you all see winning this election? Who's gonna win it and how are they gonna win it? That's my question for you guys. Who's gonna win and how are they gonna win? Let me know what you guys think.
Wisconsin, the poll done by the website 538 tracks polling in all the states. Vice president has just a little more than 46% of likely votes, while the former president has 44%. So that means a lot of...
Now, shout out to Cindy. Cindy says, I'm praying Trump if they don't cheat. Now, Cindy, you're conservative, right? You are like, there's no like ifs, ands, buts about it. You are indeed a conservative, which again, there's nothing wrong with that. I'm just asking just for purposes of this question that I want to ask. My question for you as a conservative is, have you heard anything from other conservatives about what they plan on doing to try to negate the effects of what they believe happened in 2020? Have they set up any type of safeguards? Have they set up any type of checks and balances? Have they set up any type of like a double verification system? Has any of that stuff been looked at or discussed at all? A change in the process? Anything? Because my thing is that if that's a concern, that is absolutely something that they should be making a priority and have 100% completely in place at the time that the last ballot is cast, if you ask me. You know what I'm saying?
Visits to Wisconsin in the offing and a lot of cheese curds and a lot of bratwurst consumed by the campaigns. Let's move over to Pennsylvania, another battleground state. This poll also done by 538. Researchers say the VP has a little more than 45% of the vote. Trump, 44%. This is a big prize, 19 electoral votes, which means lots of stops here, lots of Geno's Philly cheesesteaks to be consumed. And let's take a look at Arizona, where the vice president is campaigning today. The poll is done by High Ground. It shows Harris has 44% of the vote. The former president has 42% of the vote. I don't know what the food is in Arizona, but they will be consuming a lot of what that, maybe grilled cactus. I don't know. In the meantime, the former president held a news conference attacking the vice president and her campaign. One of the biggest criticisms of his rival, not holding news conferences herself in the weeks since Joe Biden dropped out.
She's not smart enough to do a news conference. And I'm sorry, we need smart people to lead this country because our country's never been in this danger before, both economically and from an outside perspective. Russia doesn't respect us anymore. China doesn't respect us anymore.
All right, so there's that. So now let me ask you guys this. Do you all agree with what he was saying there? I want to know where they're getting these polling numbers from. It's amazing how these polling numbers are almost as phony as my YouTube channel numbers. If you guys agree that these polling numbers are almost as phony as my YouTube channel numbers, give me a thumbs up. If you guys disagree, give me a thumbs down. I think that the polls are about as phony as my YouTube numbers.
Vice President Kamala Harris on the cusp of choosing her running mate. Sources tell ABC News Harris, who secured enough votes to become the Democratic presidential nominee, is meeting with candidates, including popular first-term Pennsylvania Governor Josh Shapiro, a former prosecutor, Arizona Senator and retired astronaut Mark Kelly, Minnesota Governor Tim WALZ, and Kentucky Governor Andy Beshear. Former Attorney General Eric Holder's law firm conducting the high-stakes vetting process. Her opponent, Donald Trump, speaking to supporters at a campaign rally in Georgia Saturday.
I'm thrilled to be back in the great state of Georgia. I love Georgia. With thousands of proud, hardworking American patriots.
Trump joined by running mate J.D. Vance.
She's asking us for a promotion, and I think it's time to say to Kamala Harris, you're fired.
Georgia, which went to President Biden, is a battleground state decided by fewer than 12,000 votes in 2020. With just over 3 months until the election, ABC's 538 polling average shows a very tight race. Harris up 1.5 points over Donald Trump nationally, shrinking the margins he had over President Biden prior to his.
Now, again, my thing is when it shifted from Biden versus Trump to Harris versus Trump, what did Harris bring that got her the lead? Because when it was Biden versus Trump, Harris was polling very, very badly. You guys remember that? She was polling very, very badly. And there was nothing magically that happened. There was no magical intervention, no divine intervention. And all of a sudden now things are different. And I'm just trying to figure out what occurred, what took place, what event can we match to the shift in polling? It doesn't make any sense. And again, like I said, these polls are about as phony as my YouTube numbers. My YouTube phone numbers are extremely phony. You know what I'm saying? My YouTube numbers are extremely phony. Anybody that can do any kind of math will be the first person to tell you that. You know what I'm saying?
Dropping out in crucial swing states, Harris now has a slight edge over Trump in Michigan, Wisconsin, and Pennsylvania. Trump says he's accepted an invitation to debate Harris on Fox News on September 4th. Harris has not accepted the Fox invitation. Trump and President Biden had both accepted an ABC News invitation to debate on September 10th. Now that Biden has left the race, Harris said she would keep that commitment to the ABC debate. Trump has falsely claimed the ABC debate is, quote, terminated, but the ABC invitation to both candidates remains. Mark Remillard, ABC News.
All right, so there's that. All right. So, and then what you see is that there's just all these new polls that keep coming out, and it's just real, just real interesting. And you know what I'm saying? Like it would be nice if the information was more accurate. But it seems like they're all on the same page. Shout out to DeAndre. What's good with you, bro? It seems like they're all on the same page and we could see these consistencies. You guys remember when I first started covering this real heavy and I was like, one thing that we're going to do is make sure that we pay very close attention to these polls. Shout out to Satra. Satra says they say polls rising because of her youth, black girl magic, fracking, no Medicare for all, and fake ceasefire requests. What do you guys think? If you guys agree with Satra, give me a thumbs up. If y'all disagree, give me a thumbs down. New Marquette poll shows Kamala Harris, Donald Trump in dead heat in Wisconsin. Okay. So in Wisconsin, they claim that there's a dead heat. Okay. Now let me see what they got here. Hold on real quick. So now here it says Vice President Kamala Harris and former President Donald Trump are in a statistical dead heat in Wisconsin, according to a Marquette University Law School poll that for the first time measures the updated head-to-head matchup. Okay. Among registered voters, 50% supported Trump and 49% supported Harris. Now, that's different than what they said on the news, right? That's different than what they said on the news. Among likely voters, 50% supported Harris and 49% supported Trump, according to the poll released Wednesday. When polling for President Joe Biden and Trump, Biden was at 42% and Trump was at 47% among registered voters. Harris, by replacing Biden, has really made up this deficit that had been created with Biden's problem with the debate. Poll director Charles Franklin said, the party obviously just really quickly concealed around Harris, and that has boosted people's perception of her in terms of favorability. I don't think that that's a true statement. How many people agree with that statement? If you guys agree with that statement, give me a thumbs up. If y'all disagree with that statement, give me a thumbs down. I don't necessarily agree with that statement. What's the evidence? What is the evidence that backs up that statement? That to me sounds like an assumption, and there's nothing wrong with an assumption. But if they're making that as a statement of fact, I don't know what there is that could possibly where the associated facts are to that statement. You know what I'm saying? Like there should be a data set that links to the statement, and I don't know that there's an existing one. So now here it says, when factoring in third-party candidates like Robert F. Kennedy Jr., Harris led Trump by 2 percentage points, 45 to 43. Kennedy is polling at 8% among registered voters in Wisconsin, the same poll he polled in June and down from 13% and 17% in earlier months. The new poll surveyed 877 registered voters between July 24th and August 1st. So, I mean, that's a really small sample size. 877. I mean, I don't know if I really get this happy about a sample size of 877. That's really small. You know what I'm saying? Shout out to New York State of Mind. What's good with it, bro? The margin of error was plus or minus 4.6 percentage points. There were 801 likely voters with a margin of error of plus or minus 4.6 or 4.8 points. Starting next month, the poll will emphasize likely voters as the November election draws closer, Franklin said. The results released Wednesday are the first installment of the polls since Biden dropped out of the race July 21st and Harris became the Democratic nominee. The June poll before his exit showed Biden essentially tied with Trump in Wisconsin, but with lagging voter enthusiasm for Biden. The Democrats had been unenthusiastic about Biden all year. After the debate, a lack of enthusiasm, I think, turned to near depression. When he made that decision, it opened the door to a fresh campaign, Franklin said. In the new poll, respondents who considered themselves very enthusiastic to vote still, look at this, they still lean towards Trump, 52% to Harris's 47%. So now, again, these numbers are very different than what was reported by the news. Right. Shout out to John. Exactly, bro. I got more money in crypto than that. Right. Right. You know what I'm saying? So now here it says that narrows the numbers from June when the group leaned 61% for Trump to 39% for Biden. Harris had a slight lead among somewhat enthusiastic voters. Now we're seeing nearly equal levels of enthusiasm within Republican and Democrats. Republicans have a small edge still, but it's a very small edge, Franklin said. Okay. So, you know, as far as that goes, very interesting conflict of information. You know what I'm saying? Very interesting conflict of information. But this is where things start to get weird, like we see all the time. You know what I'm saying? And shout out to everybody watching. I appreciate you guys. If you all haven't smashed that like button yet, please take a moment, smash that like button. We're trying to get that 120 likes. Also, if you guys haven't hit the bell, please take a moment, hit that bell. And also, please share the stream to your social media. And if you are on Rumble, make sure you subscribe on Rumble. If you're on Twitch, make sure you take a moment and subscribe on Twitch. And if you're on Discord, make sure you hit that link and join and be an active part of our Discord.
Now it's the battle of biographies. That's what we're seeing at this moment. And the Democrats, and more specifically Walz, have been very effective at painting Trump in a negative light. He's weird, and that sticks. And basically, Trump sort of outpaces on that negative point.
I think it's real interesting how they keep harping on this. Oh, he's weird comment. I don't know, man. Like, to me, like, what did that comment actually do? Like, I heard him say it. You know what I'm saying? I got my own issues with how I feel about JD Vance and Trump. But as far as they're just weird. To me, like, that's just an ad hominem attack. And it's kind of along the lines of, what did you think that you did with that? What did you think that you did with that? Let me ask you guys, what do you guys think that they did with that?
Harris by about 16 points. And so very interesting, suggests that that strategy is effective. It might be a way to counter Trump's irreverence. That's always been a very positive attribute for him, but we will see if ultimately it has that sort of long-lasting impact.
Yeah, and I guess we'll see whether or not the questions over Tim WALZ's service and his lack of deploying before retiring ultimately has a lasting impact. Let's just take a listen to how the Republican vice presidential nominee, Senator J.D. Vance, has characterized this.
I wonder, Tim WALZ, when were you ever in war? When was this? What was this weapon that you carried into war, given that you abandoned your unit right before they went to Iraq, and he has not spent a day in a combat zone? What bothers me about Tim WALZ is the stolen valor garbage. Do not pretend to be something that you're not. And if he wants to criticize me for getting an Ivy League education, I'm proud of the fact that my mamaw supported me, that I was able to make something of myself. I'd be ashamed if I was him and I lied about my military service like he did.
So, of course, the reference to a weapon of war from the senator there was an old advertisement from Tim WALZ, who, of course, has advocated in more recent years for stronger gun control measures, talking about weapons of war that shouldn't be available, like the ones he himself carried into war. And I asked this, Cliff, with the knowledge that you've also pulled the notion of patriotism, which is something that Donald Trump pulls much better on than Kamala Harris. To what extent is this a narrative that actually matters to the American voter?
Now, I want to ask you guys, I think that that's actually a really good question, because that is definitely one of the things, because what they're trying to do when they try to, get people into a coalition to vote for them is they want to galvanize people based off of emotion and common ideas. And there's a large portion of the country that is very susceptible and very vulnerable to this idea of quote unquote patriotism and likes to identify themselves as patriots and all of this. And I think that, that's not really going to be anything that does anything for us, because we're not heritage Americans. America wasn't created for us. America was basically created to use us as fuel to power the machine. And the people who established this country never believed and still don't believe that we should ever be a full active part or participant of this country, and that we shouldn't do anything other than labor and die for this country. You know what I'm saying? So we got to understand that is what the popular belief and thought is about people like us in the United States. So when they talk about all of this quote unquote American stuff and yada yada yada, we got to understand, and we got to bring it to the forefront right back at them, that we understand that this stuff is not applying to us until they actually say it and materialize on it and act on it. Until they act on it and materialize on it, we're going to brush it off as this is just nonsense. It's irrelevant. It's illegitimate. We're not listening to it until there's evidence of it. You know what I'm saying? However, that patriot sector of society, I do believe that would definitely be something that could possibly galvanize them. And if it's properly galvanized, because there's more of them and there's a lot of wannabes, that could be something that could change the trajectory of where things are right now, which, according to the polls, is either a tie or Trump behind. You know what I'm saying? Shout out to Deneen. Deneen says, I'm so sick of Kamala's face being forced on me via YouTube ads. If you guys are with Deneen, then throw an angry face in the chat.
It's very important. Indeed, I would go as far as saying that the WALZ pick is more important because of his profile than his policies. He's more sort of aligned with, let's say, Vance's profile, white, rural, veteran, and very important and very resonant with that segment of the American population. And what we're seeing right now is a battle of biographies of Vance.
Shout out to my man, Lloyd Sky 9. Good to see you, bro. Make sure you guys show Lloyd Sky 9 some love. Throw some flames, some radiation emoji, and some ducks in the chat for my man, Lloyd Sky 9, standing on business for 18 months.
I'm standing on business. I'm standing on business. I'm standing on business.
Definitely appreciate it. Make sure you guys show him some love. Throw some flames, some radiation emojis, some ducks in the chat. And membership is only 99 cents. And as you guys know, it helps. And as you guys can see, take a look around. You know what I'm saying? I think the majority of people in the chat are members. You know what I'm saying? So you'll blend right in. And you know how it goes. If the video gets yellow $sign until it gets a green $sign, it's on members only. So if you watch the replays immediately, you'll be able to see it immediately. If it stays yellow $sign, you'll still be able to see it. If you're not a member, you got to watch the replay on Rumble. So if you're not a member, you want to definitely make sure that you subscribe to the channel on Rumble. But the membership helps, and you know what I'm saying, we got a nice amount of members. And I'm going to be doing some more membership streams very soon with some extra perks. And what was I going to say? Yeah, there's going to be some new membership stuff coming up pretty soon. So, you know what I'm saying? You want to be able to be a part of it.
Is trying to paint him in a negative light. Whether that's effective or not, we will see. But I would say it's the correct tack at going after his personal biography before he's able to define.
I ask you about another issue here, Cliff, and that's political violence. It's something that came up in a CBS interview with President Joe Biden, the idea that if Donald Trump loses, it's Katie, bar the door. Here's what he said.
If Trump loses, I'm not coming at all. He means what he says. We don't take him seriously. He means it. All the stuff about if we lose, there'll be a bloodbath. Is have these stolen elections. Look what they're trying to do now in the local election districts where people count the votes. They're elected, they're putting people in place in states that they're going to count the votes, right? You can't love your country only when you win.
Cliff Young, what are you learning?
I mean, I don't know if it's really a bad thing to have people in place to quote unquote count votes and make sure that, you know what I'm saying, the votes are counted properly. I mean, that's how you got to determine who's the winner versus who's the loser. Right. I mean, I don't think that's like out of the realms of anything abnormal. You know what I'm saying? What do you guys think? I don't think that's, I think that's, you know, whatever. Right.
About the level of concern that voters have over this.
Very high levels of concern for violence, widespread belief.
Shout out to my man, Lloyd Sky 9. I definitely appreciate you, bro. Make sure you guys show Lloyd Sky 9 even more love for funding the organization.
How do you think that we fund this organization, huh? We're not exactly the March of Dimes.
This is the hardest record out.
Cash rules everything around me. Queen, get the money. Dollar bill, yo.
Definitely appreciate you, bro. Shout out to Lloyd Sky 9. Lloyd Sky 9 says, don't they always say, I believe in the equality of opportunity and not the equality of outcome? That says everything. And that's a statement they say all the time. I agree 100%. If you guys agree with Lloyd Sky 9, throw some flames in the chat for it.
That the system is broken, so such statements are believable. But the other thing we have to realize is this is one of the primary points of focus of the Democratic campaign, to paint Trump and the Republican Party as being insurrectionist, as being anti-democratic, that they're a threat to democracy. And this will be hammered over and over and over again by multiple messengers. It's a theme that especially mobilizes the Democratic base, but also has a pretty good effect on independents. So I expect to see more of this with more intensity over the course of the next 90 days. Right now, it's the battle of...
Yeah, so I think that's interesting, and I think that actually is a plan of attack that they'll probably use. We definitely have been seeing them use that plan of attack. It's the same way they got strategies, and they think that that's the most effective strategy that they'll be able to use to try to strike fear into people and sway them away from conservatives, the same way that conservatives use the talking point of these people are far left, unsafe liberals, crazy, and yada, yada, yada. So, you know, for the most part, not very much talk about policy when it comes to both the conservatives and the Democrats. Just a bunch of personal attacks and nonsense, and really nothing at all that's geared towards us. So we're, for the most part, right now, just picking through a trash can of what we can take out. You know what I'm saying? And even with picking through a trash can with Democrats and Republicans filling up the entire trash can, that really shows the low quality of both, is that there's slim pickings, you know what I'm saying, of scraps. You know what I mean? So, yeah, there's that. So we're going to, I retimed that stream, the Aiden Ross stream, for 3:55. I might not be able to do it at that time, so it might end up getting retimed for tomorrow, but still stay in the stream and go into that next stream window when this is over. Hit the bell and all of that. Get it over with, you know what I'm saying? I want to shout out everybody who is in the building. I appreciate you guys for being here. If y'all haven't hit the like yet, hit the like. Make sure you guys show some love for the 15 stream sponsors who made this stream possible. I definitely appreciate you guys. Make sure you guys show them big love, because y'all know without them, we don't do this. You know what I'm saying? Shout out to John. Shout out to Hurricane IQ. Shout out to Satra. Shout out to Katsy. Shout out to Brooklyn Queen. Shout out to Dawn. Shout out to John. Shout out to AB. Shout out to Brooklyn Queen. Shout out to AB. Shout out to John. Shout out to AB. Shout out to Mike Mellis John. Shout out to Lloyd Sky 9. I appreciate you, bro. And shout out to Lloyd Sky 9 again. Make sure you guys show them big love. Shout out to my man Mike R. Exactly.
How do you think that we fund this organization, huh? We're not exactly the March of Dimes.
And as always, ladies and gentlemen,
walk up in the life. Yeah, I'm really talking my shit like I'm really him. Hold up, look, walking this bitch like, hey. Yeah, I'm really him. Talking my shit like, hey. I'm really him. Don't believe me? Come and see me. Got 3 wishes from my genie. Now I'm on your local TV. Y'all on tour. Got demons say she wanna come and see me when I'm in a local city. I'm like, pause though. Please step aside so they can see me. And I walk up in this light. Yeah, I'm really him. Talking my shit like I'm really him. On God. Walk up in this light. Yeah, I'm really him. Talking my shit like I'm really him. I'm the realest from my city. That's on my knee. That's on TV. That's on mamas. Niggas don't believe me. Come and see me. I been dodging all that face. All these niggas working broke, but I been getting paid. All that know me from the street. Flexing for what feature? That's like every other week. Talk behind my back. I kick my feet up, have a seat. Cause at the end of the day, all these watching me as I walk up in this light. Yeah, I'm really him. Talking my shit like I'm really him. On God. Walk up in this light. Yeah, I'm really him. Talking my shit like I'm really him. On God. Walk up in this light. Yeah, I'm really him. Talking my shit like I'm really him. Hold up. Look, walking this bitch like, hey. Yeah, I'm really him. Talking my shit like, hey. I'm really him. Hold up.